Welcome back to the David Blackman Show. I'm your host, David Blackman. On tonight's broadcast, we will be covering day, not 1, not 2, not 3, but day 4 of this fucked up ass January 6th committee insurrection hearing. Day 4 of this fucked up. Now, in addition to that, I will be reviewing my mother's response to the crazy ass email I sent to my family. That's right. Over the weekend, I did my most personal stream ever, and I will be showing you guys the reply. Whoops. There goes my belt. Now, on top of that, is Kent Hovind dumb enough to debate me? No, probably not. But the good news is Donnie, dumbass, from Standing for Truth just might be stupid enough to set it up anyway. Let's start the show.
She got that sweet juice, Minute Maid, some of out that lemonade. Take a sip, blowing purple clouds, taste like lemon haze. Conversations back and forth like damn, we could go on for days. Looking back at it like damn, she bad when she walk away. Here we go, been down this road, they already know. When we go on tour, I'll take you anywhere you wanna go. People talk about us like they understand just what this is. I just wanna give you all you want and then the double it. They don't say I'm way too young, maybe I'm just ignorant. I won't find nobody like you on some real shit. Spend a couple hours on the phone. Hey, I don't wanna let you go. I'll be all about you, babe. I'll be all about you, babe. Saying so unless you don't know, they won't find what we got in that. No need to rush.
Islam
is a disgusting, stupid religion.
And you know what? If somebody is under the sound of my voice right now, hearing this on the internet, and you're a Muslim, you know what? Then instead of getting mad that I'm calling you stupid, pick up this book and read it.
Pick up this book and read it.
And then pick up this book and let the tears roll down your face and say,
this is the word of God.
It's got power. And then pick up this book, Islam, there's no comparison. And then pick up this book, following God. And then pick up this book, this is the word of God. And then pick up this book. You know what's hateful? The gospel.
The gospel. Cameron is first, No Name is second. Caterpillar is third. The congregation is gathered. But I got a feeling a lot of our theist friends and a lot of Republic trash friends and the right-wingers won't be here. I've got a sneaking suspicion they're not too excited to review the evidence of January 6th.
This is for Peter W.
Yeah, I'll take some calls.
Might as well.
Let me in there. Let me show Doug how it's done. Some of you flag-waving phony Christians are thinking that right now. Come on, Peter. Back up your words. You accused me of being basically a misogynist. Say it to my face. Okay, Peter, what's your problem with me? Oh, you're joking. You do this to me on my channel and on Rebecca's Bread of Life channel. You will
only when you're beating up women.
I treat women and men equally. I beat up on both of them. You're the sexist.
I know. I'm trying to beat up on women.
Babies,
I woke up this morning wanting to beat up on a woman.
I think that you tend to interrupt women.
I just didn't have a woman wake up next to me to beat up on.
You think so?
Look at all the interviews I've done with men and all.
Are there any women in the audience?
I would say that.
Oh, yes,
women, will you call into the show so I can make fun of you?
Okay.
Oh, yes,
no, I'm not a misogynist. No, I'm not sexist. Peter W. told me that he has several spreadsheets about me. Now, I want to see the one about me beating up women. And I don't think he's ever going to provide proof of this spreadsheet unless I sufficiently beat up enough women on my channel. I might have to kick some women in the face.
Okay.
I might have to smash
Should we
some
do it?
men over the head with the steel chair. I might have to go Ken Copeland, dragging some woman down an
I
aisle.
figured that would be your answer.
What do I got to do to get canceled around here? You know, I'm starting to think you Christians don't want to defend your God. I'm starting to think that I could do whatever I want to make fun of your God, and you guys will not show up and defend this fool. And on top of that, there's even worse news, y'all. I've been combing the internet looking for some competition, looking for somebody to step up to the plate and challenge me for the Word Wrestling Entertainment United States Championship. And I was really disappointed at the fact that no matter what I say, these damn theists won't show up and defend their God. But I realized that there's an even bigger problem. A much bigger problem. And that's that their fucking gods won't show up to defend themselves. Whoops, forgot to play another clip. All right, we're going to go. Oh, yeah, we're going to go with this one. This one's definitely triggering. I'm just trying to trigger the theists to get them to come out of the woodworks.
Well, I wrote this song for the Christian youth. I want to teach kids the Christian truth. If you want to reach those kids on the street, then you got to do a rap to a hip-hop beat. So I gave my sermon an urban kick. My rhymes are fly, my beats are sick. My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger.
That's because Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Woo.
My nigga, my nigga, my nigga. Yeah, Jesus is my nigga. Jesus is my nigga. Get it.
He's a life changer, miracle arranger, born to the virgin mom
In the manger.
Water to wine,
He's a drink exchanger. And he died for your sins.
I preach the word, that's my gig, and I rhyme better than
Notorious
Notorious Big. All
Big.
the other MCs, I wish them well, but if you live in sin,
You burn in hell.
Now I'ma pass the mic to my lovely wife. She's a fly MC and
In the light of my life.
So to bust a rhyme without further ado, take it away, Mary Sue.
Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Yeah.
He's the son of the original G. And he was sent to earth to elucidate the way that we should be. What? Like if another MC says you're a freak, you're a lame butt rapper and your rhymes are weak. I don't get mad and I don't critique. I forgive him and turn the other cheek. I don't blaspheme and I don't brag. I don't cuss. And my pants don't sag. I do exude
I don't wear pants, I wear
Christian
tights.
swag, and I'm proud to be an American.
Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Let his light shine through ya. Let his love pop a cap in your butt and say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Jesus Christ is a nigga. He's a homie MC, JC, you see. He's an honest, caring, peace-loving nigga like me.
A peace-loving nigga like
If you
me.
do drugs and you think you're cool, you need to come to
Sunday school.
Put those drugs in a garbage can. Stand up tall,
You're a Christian man.
Word up.
Word up, homie.
I'm freestyling.
Yeah, you definitely wrote this. You definitely wrote this. You definitely wrote this. Live from Sacred Death Studios in Los Santos, San Andreas. Welcome, everyone, to Late Night Counter-Apologetics. And now, please welcome your host. He is the wise man of the Sacred Death Motorcycle Club. He is the sexiest man in all of Word Wrestling Entertainment. entertainment. He is the most entertaining man in the history of evolutionary biology. He is the virtual visionary, Mr. Dual PhD himself. Please give it up for the architect of the atheist apocalypse, the only man to have his vestments blessed by Pine Creek, the most high apostle of the cult of the flying man. He is none other than the outlaw prince, the one and only Jesus who can save us, Dr. Heartbreak J. Pocket Locker BUNDY! I think I'm cute. No, I'm sexy. I've got the look that drives the girls while I got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. Are y'all ready to go? Somebody call David Pacman and tell him David Blackman is taking over. Somebody call Pine Creek, tell his right-wing ass to get in here. He needs to see what happened on January 6th. I make these shiver, right-wingers get weak. Whenever I'm around, they see me walk, they hear me talk. I make them feel like they bullshit ain't real. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm not here to play with you. I'm here to slay you. Slay you. Let's go! Eat your heart out, girls. Hands off the merchandise. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I always forget to turn that damn speaker off. Welcome, everybody, to a very special edition of Late Night Counter-Apologetics. I am your host with the most from the East Coast. My name is Dr. J. Bundy. I'm also known as Pocket Locker 86. I am also known as the most high apostle of the cult of the flying man. And most importantly, for you tonight, I am your host, David Blackman. Welcome to the David Blackman Show. And as always, I am in airplane mode. Now, of course, those of you that don't know, you need to get your ass on over there to itsairplanemode.com. Check out my cousin OG Roddy's latest album. It's called La Guardia. You can listen to it now. The album drops officially August 12th. which is my birthday. Special shout out to Cuzzo. Cuzzo and I took some very special time aside today from our very busy schedules. He's taking over the world, jet setting all over the place in airplane mode. I'm taking over the internet. I got like 9,200 YouTube channels, but today, me and that Cuzzo, we just sat back on the phone, lit up some weed. Oh, cuz, how you doing? And boy, do we have ourselves a fantastic time catching up with one another. Shout outs to my cousin. When you see Airplane Mode 420 come through the house, you just know that that's the artist himself. This one is called Stunt 102. Catch a vibe, and then it's communion time. There you go, AR. You know the equation.
Whoa.
What's the problem?
I ain't had shit to show, being modest. Now it's grams of the wax for my conscience. Brian James in LA, you're on college. I've been jumping on them.
All right, let's give out some
Still
currency.
moving with the pack like my partners. Hit the John on them jets, cause you wildin'. But the bowl is a party on the island, moment of silence. So good, get back to the topic. Grew up, it was me and Flocka. Grandma's and Big T, this my mama. I ain't even for the pay.
All right, Cameron Bennett, $1 million for first.
Mom said, you the man, son, you got this. Ever since I found a way to go and pop shit. Hold up, blaze through a whole zip. Took a seat at the table of my first flip. Days in red roof for my first whip. Spent the money with the gang, never post pics. Seen the change in the
No
game,
name,
like the
$500,000.
Never let them take my wangs in the mold, bitch. Ever made in a month, nigga.
Caterpillar, a quarter
Goddamn.
of $1 million.
Had to grow up quick, I made my own rules. Had my first child, got it jumping with music. Can't really hang with nobody who losing. I thought by now that you would go and get it, but I could hardly see niggas this distant.
No, you get cropped if you're not in the picture.
And I made that tag and went got a bag. Shots to the Henny and OG prescriptions, put rebel shit on the map. Took a leap from where I started at. Started balling, now I'm Chris Paul and Cass. Got him steady calling for the mold, but I'm on a roll, gotta call him back. And that's all fact.
Now, folks, some of these dumbasses in our community are actually stupid enough to deny evolution. I don't know how you could do that, but you see proof of it right there. OG Roddy and I, even amongst all the humans on the earth, we happen to be incredibly closely related to one another. And you can see, damn, they both tall, dark, and handsome. He's a little light-skinned, but that's okay. Damn, they both smart as shit. Damn, they're both musically gifted. I wonder if they share common ancestry. There you go. There you go. That's the winning response. There you go. We share them genes. We share them genes that make you come out them jeans. Oh, man. All right, folks, look, we're going to do our communion time. We're going to see how things go. Look at this, guys. We're adding to our kit. This is, of course, our showpiece. When you're called the Most High Apostle, you got to have a showpiece worthy of being called the Most High Apostle. So this is our favorite piece of lab equipment right here. We call it the one-hit wonder. You can see it's a function over form bong. It's got all types of grip holders and percolators and triple percolators and ass catchers and handles. And this is just a heavy piece of lab equipment right there. It's like biosafety level 420 or something like that. Real high up there. Gotta have a lot of education to handle that. We picked up 2 new pieces today, though, folks. Yeah, I had to pick up some weed, decided to pick up some new pieces. This one's got like a cool little winter scene etched into it. There's a little wolf there. The wolf pack. All right. Some trees in there. Look at the trees, y'all. Everybody, look at the trees. Look at the trees in my new tree smoker. All right. Very nice. See the frosted glass going around the stem there. It's got another cool wolfy thingy on the logo in here. It's got some really cool, like, tribal-ish kind of etchings on the bottom there. You guys can see those etchings. See the etchings? Hey, Stupid Whore Energy, do you want to come up to my room and see my etchings? Nah, I'm lying. All the rooms are on the first floor. But one day, I'll get there one day. And this this new beautiful piece of lab equipment, you can't be whipping out the heavy guy all the time. Sometimes you just need a little Pyrex will do you, Look at this, guys. I'm a serious scientist. As you guys can see, all this glass here looks definitely like it belongs in a lab. Really, really speaks to my scientific credibility. When my scientist friends come at me, they be like, Jay, how many grants have you published lately? How many papers, how many peer-reviewed articles have you had published this year? I'll be like, bro, look at this scientific piece of glass right there. They be like, oh shit, you kind of legit. Bro, check out One Hit Wonder. Jay, I'm sorry I questioned you. I'm sorry I questioned you. Clearly, you must be a biologist. You must be a prominent biologist with that piece of glass right there. See, that's how it works, folks. I don't got to do no research. I don't got to teach no classes. We call this glass intimidation. You just whip out your glass, you smoke it, and they be like, yeah, I ain't fucking with him. Yeah, I was thinking about fucking with him, but then he whipped out that glass, and I was like, yeah, I ain't fucking with a guy that got a bong. He got a bong like that, they call him the Most High. Yeah, I ain't gonna fuck with him. All right, y'all, let's do communion. Please rate, mine has some whiskey in it. Please raise your glasses and hold on to your asses. Through him, with him, in the unity of the flying man. All glory and honor is yours who flight for our sins forever and ever. You may drink. Yes. Now, folks. That song, that hymn does things to me. Ask yourself out there, what is Pocket Locker's favorite instrument? Well, come on. That's an obvious one. His name is Jason Bundy. Everybody calls him Pocket. The name Pocket Locker is a drumming reference. I love to play in the style of some of my favorite R&B and gospel drummers such as Zorro, who were known for locking it in the pocket. Oh, locking it in the pocket! Pocket Locker! I get it! Managing to display creative musicianship while maintaining an undeniably discipline. Discipline means practice, groove, and sense of timing. The number 86 refers to the year I was born, 1986. So it's obvious, folks. It's drums. It's the drums. No. See, guys, you are not my students. You guys are not my students. Why is that important right now? I make my students one promise in the classroom. I do not ask trick questions. I sometimes ask painfully simple questions where you think the answer is right in front of you, so it must be a trick. I will not do that to you, right? I do not ask trick questions in the classroom. This is not a goddamn classroom, it's YouTube. I told you to stop being lazy and go back to school. It was a trick question. My favorite instrument is actually the organ, because my uncle was a professional organist, and the organ covers the entire frequency range. It is the only instrument with a wider frequency range than the piano. And you can emulate an entire orchestra with just an organ. Now listen to this goddamn great amen again and appreciate this goddamn pipe organ, because it's, ooh, woo! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, give it to me. Woo! Woo! We don't need no stinking percussion. Oh, that organ is everything. That organ fills the whole city. The whole city be like, oh, god damn, that church must be going on again. The streets be vibrating when the motherfucking pipe organ gets to it. That shit bumps. All right, folks, here's our communion song. Oh, my goodness. Somebody just asked me, where does the communion song comes from? Well, where can I find the communion? Oh, boy, you lucky you not, my students, because I'd have told you that's a stupid-ass question. You go to itsairplanemode.com and you buy the goddamn music. How did you not know this already? This called MJ Interlude. Ask better questions next time. Go on and turn up the air conditioning.
Start my morning every day with her. In the afternoon I lay with her. In the evening I'ma stay with her. Hi, I'm in love. I ain't even tripping, but them say she a drug, cause she here every day for me. In the morning hit her faithfully. At least a dub when we touch. No one falling.
All right, y'all, let's try it on new glass. Let's try the baby first. You need some weed in it. Also filled the jar. Let's go. We got some more weed.
Take some time out my day for
Woo!
I even took her on a plane, but she ain't even a drug. Some say I'm tripping.
It stank so good. Woo! That smells so strong. Woo! Y'all know how vagina be sometimes? You be like, woo! Let me get another one. Woo! Baby, that's too much. Woo!
She my sweet Mary Jane shorty. I even took her on a plane, but never enough. Some say I'm tripping. She turned me into the plug. She be there dealing way with me. She be there to take the pain from me. The homie said that I'm tripping, but all they do is get drunk. Smoking on the wax, they thinking I'm off the drugs. I go all out the way for ya. In the morning I might lay with you. In the afternoon I stay, cause she know that I'm in love. I ain't even tripping, cause she the one I could trust. She go running every day with me. Take the
I'm fucking with it. It's too much water in it. Let me dump out some of the water real quick.
Niggas sipping lean and worry what's in your cup. In the morning I might play with you. Take a long walk and stay with you. She my sweet Mary Jane and she the one I could trust. Niggas sipping lean, but me I'm smoking a dub. I go all out the way for you. Take some time out my day for you. I even took her on a plane, but never enough. Some say I'm tripping, but they ain't even in love. In the morning I might lay with you.
That's what we was looking for. Now, a lot of y'all acting like, well, Jay, why do you want so many pieces? It's one thing, understand something, folks. We're getting to know each other better. First of all, I got to roll some weed. I got to roll some joints because I'm running out of joints. I can't run out of joints. I only got one left. All right. Now, I like to smoke joints, but they're not really the best for burning, right? So you want something that helps you roll longer. All right. So now look. This is the best bong I've ever, this is the best piece of paraphernalia I've probably ever owned. Actually, I've owned a couple of pieces that were similar to this, but this one is definitely the best built and has the most features on it. I've owned some pieces that were significantly more expensive, but I actually think this is really, really awesome. But it is quite a bit of weight, and I don't like moving it between like my room and different parts of like the studio. Like it mostly sits here. If I have to clean this area, I sit it on top of there, but I don't like moving it around a lot. So I wanted something else I could kind of smoke on in my room a little bit. I picked up this just because it was gorgeous and I thought it'd be a great showpiece. It'd be something quick. It's a lot easier to maintain, a lot easier to clean than dealing with that. And then I wanted something that was just super, super, super painfully simple, but also looked very, very scientific, sort of with that flask beaker kind of look to it. Looks exactly like a flash from the lab, obviously. And again, I can move it around and keep them in different places, and I don't have to move that one. So I'm actually really happy with these. Shout out to my guys. God, I keep telling these guys I'm going to give them a shout out. Let me do it right now. Level Up Smoke Shop. Level Up Smoke Shop here in Lansing, Michigan. Those guys always hook me up. Couple of really, really, really cool dudes there. They've outfitted me with most of the glass you see here. I told them I'd give them a shout out on stream. So again, Level Up Smoke Shop in Lansing. Really, really, really. I've been to a lot of smoke shops in this area. they are particularly tuned to the needs of potheads and kind of just have everything there. And if they don't have it, they'll get it for you. So fucks with those guys. Wonderful service. I saw them 3 times today. Guys, I kept fucking unrolling the shit from the bubble wrap and like letting the down stem roll off. So literally I bought the shit home. It's like a 20-minute walk, 20-minute walk from my house. I bought the shit home, opened it, broke the down stem because it rolled out on me, went back to the store to buy another down stem, just a down stem. They outfitted me with another down stem, hooked me up a little discount because they felt bad. I came home, unrolled it, broke that one. Same thing happened. Totally not their fault. I literally, the first time it happened, I was spaced out, unwrapping it while listening to some YouTube, wasn't paying attention. Second time home, I got home, did the same exact thing. Third time I went back, I was like, I'm buying 2 of these hoes so I have a backup and don't wrap it. I'm gonna just carry this bitch home in a bag. I'm gonna just carry it home in a bag. Like, but they were super cool about it. I felt like a fucktard, but I wanted to get my glass. So we got that straight. We gave away the currency. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into our program for today. Now, before we get into the January 6th, I got a couple of things to go off with y'all. The first thing is sit back and enjoy this because like I said in the intro, is Kent Hovind dumb enough to debate me? I don't think so. But Donnie might be dumb enough to set it up. So I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't think Donnie's this stupid. But sometimes the braggadocio gets you. And so I'm hoping we've got him on wax here a little bit. And then on top of that, we'll maybe get our community to put some pressure on him. I'm going to certainly probably email him like tomorrow and follow up on this. So let me let y'all see what's going on. When I started doing my shopping, this guy was debating Kent Hovind versus Daria Bloodworth. When I came home, I was so disappointed because the first thing I heard was Kent Hovind's voice, and I was like, oh, I done fucked up. I'm coming home to Kent Hovind. I forgot that this shit was on. But then Donnie started talking a bunch of bullshit at the end about upcoming debates. And his chat has kind of like tried to trigger me and asked me to debate him and shit before, so we'll see what happens. But let me show y'all what happened.
That one as well. So people can join, ask questions, have a little back and forth debate. And CJ Cox and David Preston. So our modern English translations, dangerous and untrustworthy. I've actually got a few more.
You break the pipe almost weekly.
There's just a bunch that I saw the set. I just got.
What's up, Jason Torn?
Some more confirmations in terms of upcoming
No
debates.
name, appreciate
so I'm going
you.
to set those either tonight.
It is like a gaming store,
night,
but they sell weed
and,
stuff.
They should be on the event section. So. But I think that's pretty much it. All right, guys,
it's about to get so good. Just imagine with
5
me.
or 6 requests right now that I'm filling for the Evolution Debate Challenge series. I'm probably going to fit most of them in for September, October, because June's been packed. July was incredibly packed. I mean, we had like 2 debate marathons in that month.
No name making it
and
rain.
August is almost fully booked too.
Damn, Jason Torn, he must like you.
The next debate that I do book for Kent, out of those 5,
y'all feel that man crush in the air? I feel a man crush in the air. Y'all feeling that kind of vibe in the chat right now? Which is kind of dirty from No Name's perspective. No Name, leave some crushing for everybody else, because y'all know the ladies be simping over No Name. So if the ladies start simping over No Name and then the dudes start platonic simping over No Name, there won't be any simping left for the rest of us, No Name.
5 or 6 requests will be the 300th debate. So, who's going to be lucky debate number 300? I want to make it a good one. So shoot me an email if you want to be that debate number 300, and I'll make sure that's the next one I book, at least in terms of, I'll try and fit it in August. So we'll try and get debate number 300 in August.
God, this feels so good watching this back.
Wrap up the summer with.
I really don't like this guy
out there that is sent to
but I really don't like this guy. And so the way I see the what I'm about to drop on him coming, and now I'm be able to watch it back and realize he has no idea what I'm trying to do to him, it just feels kind of good. It just feels kind of good.
Quest or who has been.
All right, let's get to the good part.
debate on Catholicism, on theology. Then I've also got on the 15th map creation versus evolution debate. So the between Merritt, who goes by Crimson Air, who I've debated in the past, and Charles Jennings from the Union Seminary. They're going to be debating specifically 2 Peter 2:20.
Give it up on the first date for one pocket change. that's
and whether or not that verse teaches you can lose your salvation. And stalagmite. Please.
All right, here we go.
You've got your going to be here presentation and then an audience Q&A. So if you've got your flood geology related,
all right, I want you guys to hear the build
presentation
up to this,
and and coming up on the 3rd, I'm pumped.
All right. He's gonna make it take too long. All right, guys. Here's what he did, though. Here's the good part. What Donnie did to actually get me to do this was he actually said that he's looking for someone to line up to debate Kent Hovind. He went on and on about how he's just so busy. He's got so many debates lined up. He can't believe how many hundreds of debates he's done. And he's got this coming up with Dr. Hovind. And then he said, people have been requesting to get this debate. And he said, maybe one of you guys wants to be the next person to debate Kent Hovind, because the next time we do a debate with Kent Hovind, it'll be number 300. So who out there wants to be that lucky number 300 to be our 300th debate against Kent Hovind? Yeah, I know he won't do it. I know Kent Hovind won't do it. I know Donnie's a fucking punk-ass piece of shit, and he's definitely afraid of the United States champion of Word Wrestling Entertainment. Donnie's definitely afraid of me. He definitely is definitely afraid to have me on my channel. He definitely won't have me on my channel. It doesn't matter how small I say his testicles are. It doesn't matter how bad I say his channel is. It doesn't matter the fact that he has no idea what he's talking about when he talks about science. I could talk all this trash about him. Guys, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I really don't think Donnie cares how much of a fucking retard I think he is. I don't think he'll call me out on this to my face on his channel. I don't think he would do that. He would know that would just be too good for me. And I don't think Kent Hovind would actually ever debate me, because that would be a total bad idea, because I just wouldn't even try. I just would be looking for an opportunity to tell Kent Hovind how much I hate him. Oh, Jay, you should talk to the audience and talk about evolution and use it as an opportunity. No. JV Kent Hovind is an opportunity for Jay Bundy. I want to lay back in bed that night when I'm watching wrestling and go, oh my God, I can't believe I told Kent Hovind he's a dumbass to his face. Jay, I looked him in his eyes and I said, Kent Hovind, I think you are a moron. And I think you have no idea what you're talking about and that you're dangerous. I actually hope you go to jail. And then I'm just going to play that tape back and just nut all over myself. That's going to actually be what I jerk off to that night. It just is. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. All right, so let's see what I tried to get into here.
Flood geology relays. Please show up in the live questions. Then please show up in the live chat. Send in the question. So Hunter Biden's laptops, $5 super chat. I'm a dual PhD in evolutionary biology. I worked in the LNCA lab. Oh, very cool. I was recently featured on Gutsy Gibbons' channel. Okay, one of my best buddies. And
oh shit, guys, I didn't put it on the screen. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Presentation and then an audience Q&A. So if you've got your flood geology related questions, then please show up in the live chat. Send in the question. So Hunter Biden's laptops, $5 super chat. I'm a dual PhD in evolutionary biology. I worked in the LNCA lab. Oh, very cool. I was recently featured on Gutsy Gibbons' channel. Okay, one of my best buddies. And he says, or she, let me debate Hovind. Okay, well, you know what? That sounds fun. Shoot me an email. And let me see. Truth. I'm gonna.
Guys, I got it. I saved it. I saved his email.
He might just be a dual PhD
really evolutionary biologist. Anyway.
I think could make for a fantastic debate number 300. So
you heard it. He said he thinks it would be a fantastic number 300. Now, will he follow up on what he just said in front of his entire audience and recorded live on YouTube forever?
So if that's the case, shoot me an email. Give me some details.
Oh, I will, buddy.
Typically with the requests that I come in, endless requests, I just ask for, if there's been previous appearances in other shows, debates, send me those links just to vet, the debaters a little bit, details on who you are, so on and so forth.
Nah, I was late. I was trying to go live. I'll email them tomorrow.
3, complete that trilogy.
With the link to Erica's video.
So yeah, shoot me an email. To the one who just sent in the super chat. I appreciate that. And that'd be awesome to get you as debate number 300. And we can do, with those qualifications, we can definitely make it a pretty heavy topic. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. Glad I've seen that. And let's see. Just looking at the schedule, another debate on free grace or lordship. This one's going to be good. Eli.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll respond.
Tov and JD Martin.
I'll send them, guys. I'll send them an email live on tomorrow's broadcast. That's a great idea. I got some stuff I need to do during the day anyway. So we'll reply to Donnie tomorrow live and send him the link and stuff. Y'all know I'm out here just trying to pick a fight. I ain't gonna try to sugarcoat it for y'all or nothing, none of that. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. The goal there was absolutely to pick a fight so that I could take this once in a lifetime opportunity to really piss off Donnie on his debate by being a jerk and totally insulting Kent Hovind to his face. Now, that's it. We trying to strike until we have victory. Guys, it's gonna be. I promise you, if you want to learn anything about biology, don't tune into that debate, because Kent Hovind doesn't know a goddamn thing about biology, and I'm not interested in trying to talk about biology. I really just want to insult Kent Hovind. I cannot stress you too. Even if I start talking about biology, y'all, I'm just filling time to the part where I can insult him. Okay, that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. All right, so what else did I want to do? I was going to show you guys that email. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, I am in my email. All right, great. So let's pull that up. Boom. All right, y'all. Here we go. So y'all know about the email I sent to my family. I was like, my grandparents need to retire from their church, and my mom and her father and my father-in-law need to, consider, keeping their distance from them, because right now, they just went to church. They be going to church. They caught COVID. They're really, really old. They shouldn't be doing that, but they're ministers and they won't retire. I was like, y'all need to retire. Y'all don't need to die for Jesus. That's really not good for the family. The math is very simple. I put it in a formula. Dying for Jesus equals bad for family. I don't know how much more plain I can make it. Also said, y'all might want to stick around. Me and my cousin are doing things out here. Whatever. All right, so here's the response. Reggie and she said, thank you for your concern. I know it was heartfelt, and I appreciate you for reaching out to us. Reggie and I, along with your grandparents, have had conversations, and your grandfather is starting the process of determining the next steps that he needs to take to ensure that Cornerstone, one of his life's work, passion, and purpose, is in good hands moving forward. I know you can appreciate how emotionally challenging and complex it is to make a major transition in life, especially when it involves your passion, other people, and your purpose. While we don't all share the same passions and purpose, we can all agree that change can be difficult for all of us, especially as we age and realize more of our life is behind us than in front of us. Facts, but also we've been talking about this shit for over a decade, so it is what it is. We all want to be safe, healthy, and alive to see the future generations of our family reach their full potential as they pursue their life's works and passions. Admittedly, I don't understand all of there is to know about your work and research and Tahir's passions and purpose. I know it goes without saying that I have and will continue to support the two of you and all of our other family members to the best of my ability. Reggie and I agree that the next chapter of our lives and our purpose as a couple is to love and support my parents. We consider it a privilege to honor and serve them and to be able to spend as much quality time together as we can. As you know, I've lived away from my parents for over 17 years. I know that without their love and support of us, the success that we enjoy would not have been as easily achieved. They have helped us through some significantly difficult times. I am grateful that Reggie is fully supportive of my desire to spend as much time
as I can, enjoying my parents. His love for me and for them is evident, and his commitment to this transition, by the way, is moving away from several of his immediate family members and to take this journey with me. Thankfully, they are all supportive of what we are doing. They know that Reggie's heart is one of love and service to others. Reggie demonstrated his heart of purpose and passion as the primary caregiver for the many years he took care of his parents before each passed away. He understands the moral value of honoring your parents and how important it is to spend as much quality time as possible with those you love. Yeah, my mom could write. My mom's a corporate executive. She actually just got promoted. Congratulations, Mom. She's now like I don't know. What did they change her title to? Executive Vice President or some shit like that. She just got like a serious level up and raise and shit. She's a little nervous, but she's definitely more than qualified. Rest assured, Dr. J, we're going to do everything we can to remain safe and healthy while making this transition in New Jersey. We are taking every precaution available to us to remain safe, including taking every booster available at this time. You are correct. We have remained couch church streamers and have not gone out to enjoy many of the activities we previously engaged in to remain as safe as possible. We will continue to be as vigilant as possible. I mentioned how they stopped going to church because of COVID. I stopped going to church because of COVID. I stopped playing live shows due to COVID. And so the outlier in my family is my grandparents, right, who are the only ones still having in-person services. They weren't for a really long time. They were doing the online thing. They were doing the phone thing. Then they started doing the in-person thing. We all got worried. And then, of course, they got COVID. And so this is sort of the fallout, because now it's like not only them doing that in isolation, but my mom and Reggie are getting ready to move into this new house they built for all of them so they can all live together. So I'm like, well, y'all made all these sacrifices to not get COVID, but now you're about to move home to take care of your parents, and then they're going to fuck around and bring COVID straight home to you. So we might want to think through that part of this, before we're all systems go. All right, thanks for sharing your good news about your favorite YouTuber. That's Erica Gutzig-Gibbon. I said she's one of my favorite YouTubers. Supporting your research and all the followers that you're gaining in the process. We are excited to see all the wonderful things that are coming your way. I'm also proud of Tahir for pursuing his passion. That's OG Roddy. My support and love for him has never waned. He knows that I remain available to share with him. I mentioned that they should share positive stories and memories of his father. His father died tragically when we were both very young. She said he knows that I remain available to share with him whatever he wants to know about his father. I assure you that his grandparents and Marcus's best friend Jeffrey are willing to share our memories with him when he wants to connect. I actually shared this with them when we were on the phone. By the way, Jeffrey has remained active in our lives and has stepped up in countless ways to help our grandparents through COVID. He is my god brother, and he's always looking out for them. I've known Jeffrey my whole life. I mentioned this all to Tahir when I talked to him on the phone. He doesn't know Jeffrey as well, so I'm going to put him in touch with Jeffrey because that was one of his father's best friends. I look forward to hearing from you when you get your new phone so that we can make arrangements to get together and give you as much furniture, et cetera, as we can before we move. We're planning to remove, as a reminder, between the middle and end of September. We expect to have a closing date confirmed in the next few weeks. All right, so look, it was a positive response. It was fine. I talked to my mother later on this afternoon after I spoke to Tahir. Who else did I talk to? I talked to my dad for a while. I was just calling people through my friend network just to make sure my new phone was working. I spoke to my good friend and crewmer Grant as well too. So that's that, guys. I was just trying to pick a fight with Donnie. Who knows where that'll lead, but I will respond to him tomorrow on stream. We did just review that Kent Hovind versus Mark Reed debate. He said they're definitely going to do part 3 of that. So look forward to Mark Reed. Mark Reed actually emailed me I think yesterday too. And so I'll be doing more with Mark Reed because Mark Reed is going to be definitely himself getting ready for another Ken Hovind debate. That's been confirmed. So yeah, maybe I can get on the list of cool kids that have had the honor and privilege of debating fuckface Ken Hovind. And I told you folks already, it's going to be a shit show. I'm not going to sit there and try to give a biology lesson to somebody who doesn't want to learn biology. I'm going to try my best to expose him for exactly what I think he is, for the benefit of anybody who's listening and then may want to take me up on the challenge of looking further into Dr. Hovind themselves, and then hopefully that does a hell of a lot more good than me getting up there talking about ERVs and transitional species and how come you don't see humans coming from turtles or whatever dumb fuck shit Kent Hovind wants to pretend is an actual science question. I also plan to draw attention to the fact that he doesn't have any training or background in science. I'm hoping if I can share my screen or make a presentation, I'm going to include all of my universities in the presentation so I can be like, hey guys, this is where I went to school. You guys ever heard of this place called Penn State? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. There's Penn State, big ass fucking campus in the middle of Center County, Pennsylvania. You've probably heard of our little football team and all of that. You know? You guys ever heard of this little school called Michigan State University? Why did my shit get so small? Right? There you go. All right, there you go. There's a perfectly legit college campus for you, right? Let's see, where am I at now? The University of Minnesota. Land grant institution in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There you go. All right, where did this nigga go to school? Calvary University or whatever the fuck, right? Like we looked this shit up. Somebody remind me what that fucking university is that Kent Hovind went to. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Where did Kent Hovind... Let's say Kent Hovind PhD. This has to... Calvary University. Is that it? No, I don't think this is not it. This is not it. No, he has a... No. We looked this up. There's like a real... I got to figure out Kent Hovind, PhD. Where did he go? I actually need to look this up because if this goes through, I need to put this in my presentation. So I'm going to do this real quick. Patriot Bible University. Is that it? Oh, yeah. That's going to be the slide, guys. That's the power slide. The power slide is, this is where I went to school. This is where I got my PhD. This is where he got his. Because a lot of people are visual learners. You know what I mean? A lot of people are visual learners. So, thanks, chat. Yeah, Patriot, Calvary Patriot Magaversity. Exactly. That's where he went to school. That's where I went to school. I hate to do that, but like I said, there's a lot of visual learners. We'll also talk about the fact that my PhD is in this little-known field. What's his PhD in? Oh, goodness. Oh, here we go, guys. WikiLeaks, they released his doctoral thesis. Y'all know we're going to be reading that shit. Ken Hovind's thesis is has a spotty history. It's from a dubious school. It's been called a diploma mill. Selling degrees earned in only a few months. Oh, a PhD earned in a few months. Y'all, if Ken Hovind, I might have actually struck Ken Hovind if he was in front of me when I read that. The Harvard of the North. He was awarded a master's degree and doctorate in 88 and 91. He was awarded a master's, then a doctorate in Christian education through correspondence from the non-accredited Patriot University in Colorado Springs, now Patriot Bible University in Del Norte, Colorado, which no longer offers this program. Having a website called Dr. Dino has provoked some academics to look closely at how Hovind presents his education and credentials. There you fucking go, right? This is why there's a target on you, this dumbass. Having a website called Dr. Dino has fucking provoked, antagonized, and insta-triggered, right? That's what they mean. Some academics any academics, to look closely, very closely, at how Hovind presents his education, if that's what we're going to call it, and credentials. I wouldn't go that far. Barbara Forrest, a professor of philosophy, expert on the history of creationism and activist in the creation evolution controversy, wrote that Hovind lacks of academic training makes it impossible to engage him on a professional level. So we're going to include this in our slide. We're gonna bookmark this right now. We're gonna bookmark this tab. We're gonna put it in a new folder, like an actual new folder, and we're gonna call it Kent Hovind. Sorry, y'all. Oh shit. Sorry, y'all. I think I blacked out having to actually save a folder on my computer with that name on it. We should change this. We should change this. That's gonna be too triggering. I don't think I could look at that. We'll put a 3 there or something, and like I don't know, like a exclamation point. Let's just misspell it. We just gotta at least misspell it or something so it doesn't curse me or something. Whew. Let's hope nobody from any university is watching this stream. They'll be like, that's definitely not legitimate activity. You get no academic credit for debating this clown. Literally, they'd be more impressed if I debated an actual clown. They were like, well, at least the clown wasn't committed to fucking creationism, you know? You know, there's a lot of great scientists were clowns, you know, that whole deal. All right, guys. Let's get into this fucked up ass January 6th committee hearing about whether or not there was we'll save this to our list. This list is called Take Over the Internet. Also dig sounds, because we may want to sample out Donnie saying how amazing of a debate this will be if I wreck Kent Hovind. All right. So here we go, y'all.
The Select Committee to investigate January...
PhD's nuts. Exactly. Oh, I should put a link into this. No name. Put a link to what? The Kent Hovind page in the description? Or the Donnie video? Oh, you know what? Both are probably a good idea, actually. Let's do this real quick. That's a good idea. Let's go here. Both. Okay. Let's go to YouTube Studio, Content, Live. All right. I'm gonna put it all the way at the bottom so it's easy to find. All right. Actually, I'm gonna put it all the way at the top so it's right there. So it's easier to find. Y'all should know how to call him by now. All right. All right. First, let's say Kent Hovind's education. Wait, hang on. We want to put that in parentheses. Education. All right, and then let's link to this article about his thesis. This is so amazing. Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so happy we're doing this. All right, and then we'll say Donnie thinks Kent Hovind should debate me. And then we'll put a timestamp. Yep. Thinking with the old noggin. Let's go get ourselves a good timestamp here.
So that's
so people don't have to watch his dumbass. And also, y'all see me out here promoting my other channel? Y'all see me getting my name out here, Hunter Biden's laptops? Y'all see me out here doing big things, right? All right. All right, so we'll say 150-30. All right. 150-30. All right, and then put a link to that. Good old space there. All right, so we'll start with Donnie thinks Ken Hovind should debate me. Yep. All right, and then we've got Kent Hovind's education. Oh, I just want to fight. Y'all see the work I'm putting in just to start fights with people. I hope y'all understand that this is what it really takes. When you really out here, everybody talks a lot of junk. Oh, I want to debate everybody. Oh, I wish an evolutionary biologist would just step up. Oh, these evolutionists are afraid to defend their pedagogy and their stupid religion. Y'all see, man, I'm out here working double time to start to try to start fights with these people. And it's hard. All right, guys. Go ahead, gang. We can head over there and troll him. Just be like, yeah, I think you should debate Hunter Biden's laptops. Also, let me go ahead and I'm also live on the Hunter Biden's laptops account. So y'all can see that right here. So we'll do the same thing here. We'll add this to the description. All right. Wait. Is the equal sign at the end of that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's try it again. All right, and then we'll go over here. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then this. Perfect. All right, now it's both things have been updated. We can close this. I'm going to close that. Let's close everything to the right. Let's go over here.
Sixth attack on the United States Capitol will be in order. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare the committee in recess.
Yeah, Sal may have an honest degree, but he's still Sal's a moron. And to be honest, it's kind of worse when you went to when you have a legit training, because then you should definitely know better. And to be honest with you, the difference is Kent Hovind's degree is already a joke and an embarrassment. And the university that he got his degree from is a joke and an embarrassment. Listen to me clearly. When you have legit credentials from a legit public research university and you talk the bullshit Sal does, you're an embarrassment to an otherwise perfectly legitimate academic enterprise. And go fuck yourself.
At any point.
And yes, you should know better, so I have no problem telling you to go fuck yourself. On behalf of all the fucking real academics who get and maintain jobs at these institutions and do the work of that's required instead of fucking off into some other field and then speculating from the side. Sound like a fucking coward to me. You think there's problems in evolution? How about you get in the fucking lab and try to solve them like the rest of us, dipshit?
Pursuant to House Deposition Authority Regulation 10, the chair announces the committee's approval to release the deposition material presented during today's hearing. Good afternoon. At our last hearing, we told the story of a scheme driven by Donald Trump to pressure former Vice President Mike Pence to illegally overturn the election results. We showed that when the pressure campaign failed and Mike Pence fulfilled his constitutional obligation, Donald Trump turned a violent mob loose on him. We showed that the mob...
Lena, this is the mole theory. And Lena, the mole theory is deep. It's the same speculation I have with Taylor. Now, you got to be very nuanced about this because there's a lot of variations in the mole theory. You have people who, one, are just there, let's just say, how do I put this? They're kind of schemers. They're not necessarily true believers, but they're trying to go through the motions of, getting their legit credentials so then they can just come out as a skeptic or whatever the fuck, right? Now, other times, they're like what I would call a plant. And by a plant, I mean they're working more strategically or explicitly with some sort of young earth creationist organization, or they're being groomed by such an organization. And so they do what they got to do to get their papers so then they can, host a podcast or write journals for the ARC experience or whatever fucking YouTube scam Ken Ham is running these days, right? Or you could be fucking Kent Hovind's fucking sound guy, right? So there's those people, right? But then you have the other people who are like what I call like the true believers. They're kind of like science soldiers of God. Like they make up in their mind they're going to go in there and learn all this stuff and then get out in the real world with their credentials and undermine the conventional scientific dogma, or whatever the fuck. So I definitely think you're onto something, and I think we need to do more on these people. Matter of fact, I think as an evolutionary biologist, I should do more on these people, try to weed these people out and explain the fucking differences and expose these people to people so that other people could see why they're so bad and how most of us who have any sort of legit training and credentials can tell how so easily, like without any effort at all. It's just very obvious. I think we could do a lot with this, but that's some of the nuance we'll be trying to get into and identify, and we'll be trying to look maybe for some examples of all these moles of different stripes so we can have examples to categorize. But I'll give you guys a couple of things that you'll notice. You guys notice how when you attend our science time with Cliff is showing me a lot of graphs of projects he's working on. He'll be like, oh, I did this thing, right? Notice one, he's always showing me the data, right? He's never cherry picking quotes from somewhere or like, oh, Jay, let me tell you a story of this idea I had and then what I found. He'll literally be like, hey, Jay, hang on, I want to talk to you about something, but hold on. First, I need to pull up this graph of this experiment I did. Hang on. All right, now look at this data with me, Jay. All right, now see here in this graph, what you see hang on, Cliff, let me get the axis. Hang on, Cliff, before you say anything, let me see. On this axis, there's this, and that axis, there's that, and then this is what I'm seeing going on in your graph. He'll be like, yeah, exactly. All right, now let me tell you the story. And so what's happening, right? And that's how we get in. So it's data first, and I should be able to put it in my own words based on what I see without him having to spin it for me. And then he can tell me everything, and I'll be like, oh, cool, dope, right? Number two, why is that important? Because he's getting ready to publish in a journal. Why is that important? That's what has to go through peer review. When you write a fucking book, it doesn't have to go through peer review. So a lot of what Sal does that's an immediate red flag to me is he often quotes scientists, but he often quotes scientists out of their field, and he quotes their non-peer-reviewed work. So in other words, instead of saying, oh, in the journal of X, Y, and Z, that's a perfectly legit peer-reviewed biology journal, he'll say, oh, this astrophysicist, when he wrote his memoirs reflecting on his life in science, yeah, he said that there were some things he noticed in astrophysics that made him question whether or not intelligent design isn't the way to go, right? And it's like, again, Sal, go fuck yourself. What some scientist opinion of what's going on in the field, completely unrelated to his specialty, that he writes in his memoir about his life in science is considered scientific evidence to absolutely zero scientists, right? All you do is make people like Rebecca Davis look stupid as fuck, because real scientists like me have to go out of my way to be like, hey, Rebecca, I'm actually your friend, and as somebody who likes you and cares about you, let me give you a little power tip. Don't listen to Sal ever. Right? And again, just like I proved with No Name in Nathan's chat the other day, I'd much rather be like, Rebecca, what's in your freezer? What kind of ice cream do you like? I like sweet and sour candy. What type of candy do you like? Are you like a butter popcorn or like a kettle corn girl? For me, it depends on my mood. But I think I really do love me some kettle corn, and I think people just need to get over it. Kettle corn is here to stay, right? All of these fucking conversations are much better than whatever the fuck nonsense Sal is putting in this woman's head that I now have to waste time to get out of there. So yes, I take this shit very personally, and once again, Sal, please go fuck yourself.
Came within roughly 40 feet of the vice president. Today, we'll show that what happened to Mike Pence wasn't an isolated part of Donald Trump's scheme to overturn the election. In fact, pressuring public servants into betraying their oaths was a fundamental
Kettle corn in the house. What up, Tux?
And a handful of election officials in several key states stood between Donald Trump.
Also, guys, I genuinely want you guys to forget everything you heard about my education. Please, like, I'm not joking, I'm serious, because the question I'm about to ask is going to be something that makes my university embarrassed. So, Tux, I really like the bow tie thing you were doing, and I was trying to set something up to maybe have it in the can so I could do it when I wanted to, look cool. But how do I say this? I'm going to need you to give me a tutorial on how to do the bow tie thing with the emojis, because I can't figure it out, y'all. I know Tux makes it look so simple, like it's just 3 characters or some shit like that. But y'all, I legit here sat for a minute. I thought I was just going to be a couple of quick things on my keyboard, and I legit sat here for a minute trying to figure out how to do Tux's little bow tie thing, y'all. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I couldn't figure it out. That's just the truth. I'm sorry. I want to apologize to my mentors and all of my students. I know y'all sitting there like, this nigga dumb as shit. We can't learn. Nah, I'm not gonna take his class. He can't figure out how to make a fucking bow tie emoji on YouTube. Nah, there's no way you can learn anything from that dumb piece of shit. Go fuck yourself, Jay Bundy. You need to learn how to use technology.
And the upending of American democracy. As we began today,
yeah, Jay can't tie a bow, exactly.
When we count votes for president, we count the votes state by state. For the most part, the candidates who win the popular vote.
Yeah, but No Name, look at Tux's. Tux's is special looking. Seriously, go fuck yourself, Jay Bundy. You literally don't know how to use a computer. You just admitted on YouTube that your ass can't type. You know what, guys? I just realized something, guys. In that moment where I just admitted in public that I can't type, I realized this about myself, and I'm going to confess it to you guys. But keep your laughter restrained, because this is actually very hard for me to admit. I must be some kind of like diversity or like affirmative action hire or something. I really must be, because I'm clearly incompetent. It must be the fact that I'm black and bipolar. They must have been like, yeah, he's definitely not qualified. Oh, he's black and bipolar? Yeah, just give him a job anyway. Yeah. We'll scrap a couple of dollars for him together. Yeah, we just gotta check a couple of boxes for him, because he dumb as hell. Yeah, he dumb as shit. Hey, you can't. Where are you gonna find a black bipolar scientist? I mean, come on, just give him a job. Whoo. Looking myself in the mirror tomorrow morning is going to be rough, y'all. It's going to be very rough. Very rough.
In a state wins all the state's electoral college votes. And whoever wins a majority of the electoral college votes wins the presidency. So when Donald Trump tried to overturn the election results, he focused
There's so
on
much to
just
learn,
a
they
few
forget
states.
basic shit. Yeah, there you go.
He wanted officials at the local and state level to say the vote was tainted by widespread fraud and throw out the
We gotta
results.
change the light bulb.
Even though, as we showed last week, there wasn't any voter fraud that could have overturned the election results. And like Mike Pence, these public servants wouldn't go along with Donald Trump's scheme. And when they wouldn't embrace the big lie.
Oh, Lord. Tux, I was hoping for a private tutorial. Now I have to admit, if you knew where an arrow to change pick or next page, invert direction, and colon in the middle. And now I got to admit that I don't know how to do none of that. See, y'all, this is why the live stream chat is not a place to correct me, because it just be revealing to everybody. You just be putting my business all out in the streets. Why isn't there just a fucking triangle on the damn keyboard? I don't mean to sound like a boomer, but there should just be two triangles. I could put the little colon between them. I don't know who made these things. Who designed these things?
And substitute the will of the voters.
I need to speak to the manager
to remain in
of
power.
Keyboards.
Donald Trump worked to ensure
what is this?
They face
Logitech?
the consequences.
Somebody drop me the link
Threats
to Logitech's
people's
manager.
livelihood and lives. Threats of violence that Donald Trump.
Also, another boomer complaint, Logitech. I spent like $250+ on this keyboard. This is the most expensive keyboard I've ever even considered buying. And it was worth every penny. Oh my God, this keyboard changed my life. This keyboard, y'all, let me tell you what this keyboard is called. It's a G915. There's 3 different versions of it. A lot of people go non-clicky because they like to keep their keyboard quiet. I go clicky. Clicky's the way to go. It's the fastest, and the click is so satisfying. Y'all, this is the most overpriced piece of shit keyboard. It's only a piece of shit because of how overpriced it is. But it's worth it. It's just somehow, there's so many features. It's so fast. It has the dope keys, but they're like slimmer. They made custom keys. They're like thinner. So they're like, it's got a perfect little curve. Like, oh my goodness. They showing out on this keyboard. But the motherfucker's dark as hell, right? You can see it lights up with the RGB lighting. But second thing doesn't light up. Like the shift, like whatever's the shift, that part don't light up. And so when you're a boomer like me, I'll be like this because I really can't see what the other symbol is. I'm just revealing people how old I am. Now people just like, oh my goodness, he's gone full boomer on stream. He's gone full. Why aren't there any lights on this thing? Somebody put some backlighting on this thing so I can see it at night. I'm getting too old for this shit.
And amplified. And in our other hearings, we can't just look backward at what happened in late 2020 and in the early 2021 because
getting
the
clicky
danger
with
hasn't
it.
Gone away. Our democracy endured a mighty test.
It has
on
pride,
January
yeah, it does.
6th
It has all the
and
colors.
In the days before. We say our
It's Pride Month every
institutions
month.
held. But what does that really mean? Democratic institutions aren't abstractions or ideas. They are local officials who oversee elections.
Hey, fucking men!
People in whom we placed our trust that they'll carry.
Y'all, I really don't want to bore you with the blase and the glavinoids, but honestly, again, if my dad is watching, go fuck yourself, because I'll probably say this to you at some point in my life, and it will not be easy. I genuinely appreciate all the time I spent working on campaigns. I expect this makes sense. That pause kills me. But I love it. That's one of our favorite samples here. Thanks so much, YouTube Punk. But like, I genuinely do appreciate all the time I spent walking around the hood, keeping it facts, walking around the hood with fucking Cory Booker, going door to door, talking to citizens, convincing them why we thought we had the best position on the issues and why we thought we deserved to have their vote, working for local politicians, and definitely all my time spent at the polls, even as a challenger. Seeing this shit and realizing that so many people just don't know what the process looks like up front in person, and just how many bodies it takes. Just how many bodies it takes, and how everybody has the same one goal. We're just gonna make sure everybody votes, and everybody's vote is counted for what the person wanted their vote to be counted for. It sounds so fucking simple, but I really do appreciate that frontline education. As much as it's some of the most mundane, boring shit imaginable, it is how the sausage of democracy is made.
Carry out their duties, but what if they don't? 2 weeks ago, New Mexico held its primary elections. One county commission refused to certify the results, citing vague, unsupported claims dealing with Dominion voting machines. The court stepped in, saying New Mexico law required the commission to certify the results. 2 of the 3 members
RGB definitely improved your aim by 20%.
One still refused, saying his vote, quote, isn't based on
like the video, y'all. Appreciate that, Lena.
On any facts. It's only based on my gut feeling and my own intuition, and that's all I need. By the way, a few months ago, this county commissioner was found guilty of illegally entering the Capitol grounds on January 6th. This story reminds us of a few things. First, as we've shown in our previous hearings, claims that widespread voter fraud tainted the 2020 presidential election have always been a lie. Donald Trump knew they were a lie, and he kept amplifying them anyway. Everything we
That's right, guys. Myron Bot is officially licensed as an emotional support bot, and he's been clinically certified to give the best possible hugs. They are clinically proven to improve your mood. So, you know, a lot of us around here struggle with mental health. Speaking of which, you can donate some money to the International Bipolar Foundation. But yeah, if you ever need a hug, man, Myron Bot is here for you.
Described today, the relentless, destructive pressure campaign
That's what's
on
up,
state
Lena.
and local officials was all based on a lie. Donald Trump knew it. He did it anyway. Second, the lie hasn't gone away. It's corrupting our democratic institutions. People who believe that lie are now seeking positions of public trust. And as seen in New Mexico, their oath to be to the people they serve.
Myron Bot is state of the art, exactly.
Their commitment to the big lie. If that happens, who will make sure our institutions don't break under the pressure?
For real,
no name.
We have
close calls.
We do.
We'll have a catastrophe. My distinguished colleague from California, Mr. Schiff, will present much of the Select Committee's finding on this matter. First, I'm pleased to recognize our Vice Chair, Ms. Cheney of Wyoming, for any opening statement.
Lena is just dominating the charity board. You could be a big baller. You could be like, yo, I'm gonna just drop like 10 grand. But you know, streamers lose their mind. They'd be like, oh my God, so-and-so just dropped 10 grand. And they really do love that. But then when they read the leaderboard and Lena just be consistently getting them small dollar donations, y'all, that's what took Hillary Clinton almost to the presidency, right? She was real big on the small dollar donations. She was like, hey guys, I'm gonna just go across America asking everybody for $1, like $5. And politicians like, nah. And then they saw Hillary do it. They was like, wait, we should. Did y'all know people have money? Because all they had done before was like beg corporations and shit, right? But yeah, man, when you read the donation board, it's like so and so, Lena. It's really funny.
Statement you care to offer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Sometimes it's quantity over quality.
Today we will begin examining President Trump's effort to overturn the election by exerting pressure on state officials and state legislatures. Donald Trump had a direct and personal role in this effort, as did Rudy Giuliani, as did John Eastman. In other words, the same people who were attempting to pressure Vice President Mike Pence to reject electoral votes illegally were also simultaneously working to reverse the outcome of the 2020 election at the state level.
Let's go.
Each of these efforts
We're
to
here
overturn
for
the
it.
election is independently serious. Each deserves attention both by Congress and by our Department of Justice. But as a federal court has already indicated, these efforts were also part of a broader plan. And all of this was done in preparation for January 6th.
All right, y'all, I'm going to just give y'all a quick little insider baseball right here. Just like on a real baseball team, everybody on the committee has a different position. Everybody has a certain equal standing when it comes to voting and whatever, and everybody gets to speak, and everybody gets to ask questions, and everybody gets a certain thing, right? But they have to organize their efforts. And so what happens is certainly the chair and the vice chair are expected to oversee everything and really be on top of all the details of like everything, right? But at the same time, just like when we work together, everybody's going to take a little bit of a different role. You know, I like you compare it to my YouTube mods, right? Like, I got some people that really actually look out for my social media, which is really great. I've got some people that are never watch my stream. People like Ziz. I don't ever see Ziz in the live chat for the stream. If she watched the stream, I had no idea. But she is a boss Discord mod. like if you have Ziz as a Discord mod, you are in good shape, right? And so everybody has their own little kind of assignment. I got some people who are great with the live chat, right? So it's just like that. And you can kind of tell, I think, that she may have either been taking the lead on this or one of the leads. Maybe they partner off or work in twos or threes on some of these bigger issues. But I'm very excited to hear about what was going on with them trying to kick this thing back to the States. I think that was a much bigger part of this. And I love the fact that she is very sharply drawing out that these are separate and independent big fucking deals, each one of them. And let's not look at it as, oh, well, they thought they could do this thing where Pence doesn't certify the elections and they just kick it back to the states and, oh, it's just part of the formality of what goes on during the certain. No. None of this is how any of this works. And so she is telling us right here, we're going to talk about each one of these things. Each one of them's a big deal. And hint, hint, his ass needs to be held accountable, as do all the people who were involved for each and every instance where they broke the law, violated their oaths of office, or otherwise tried to interfere with the orderly transition or the legal counting and certification of these votes during the Electoral College, right? So I could tell she's on this shit today, and so am I. I'm here for it.
I would note 2 points for particular focus today. First, today you will hear about calls made by President Trump to officials of Georgia and other states. As you listen to these tapes, keep in mind what Donald Trump already knew at the time he was making those calls. He had been told over and over again
she is a
that his
no-nonsense
stolen election
speaker.
allegations were nonsense. For example, this is what former Attorney General Bill Barr said to President Trump about allegations in Georgia.
I don't agree with her politics, but she's good at what she does.
This ourselves, and based on our review of it, including the interview.
Again, guys, it's all in the game. Even when you're opposed to these people, you got to know when the person you're up against is full of shit, and they're the Kent Hovens of the world, right? And you got to know when, hey, You may not like this person, but if you want to do better, you're going to have to put up somebody who actually is better, because that person's competent. They got a legacy. They know what time it is. They ain't fucking around. So, yeah, I respect her in the first part of getting somebody better in place of her. Like, again, I donated money to her. Why? Because she's a hell of a lot better than the Trumpists they're trying to replace her with, right? Now, what does that mean I'm also committed to doing? The Democrats ever get their shit together and put a progressive up against her, and that progressive knows their shit, I'm going to give them even more money. But it is what it is.
Of the key witnesses, the Fulton County allegations had no merit. The ballots under the table.
YouTube Punk donated $420 to charity. We're with it.
In the suitcase, they had been pre-opened for eventually feeding into the machine. All the stuff about the water leak and that there was some subterfuge involved. We felt there was some confusion.
Here's $1 million to Lena.
But there was no evidence of a
YouTube Punk's in airplane
to create
mode.
An opportunity to feed things into the count, and so we didn't see any evidence of fraud in the Fulton County episode.
Here's $4.2 million.
And acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue told Donald Trump this.
To YouTube Punk.
And I said something to the effect of, sir,
I always give $1 million per dollar donated. Appreciate y'all.
The major allegations are not supported by the evidence developed.
Told by his own advisors that he had no basis for his stolen election claims. Yet he continued to pressure state officials to change the election results. Second, you will hear about a number of threats and efforts.
YouTube Punk, do you have that? Email it to me. I haven't checked my email in a little bit. But if you get that to me, I'll put it in the store. Yeah, definitely.
Efforts to pressure state officials to reverse the election outcome. One of our witnesses today, Gabriel Sterling, explicitly warned President Trump.
All right, thanks,
about
YouTube Punk. I appreciate
violence
that.
On December 1st, 2020, more than a month before January 6th. You will see excerpts from that video repeatedly today.
It has all gone too far. All of it. Joe DeGenova today asked for Chris Krebs, a patriot who ran CISA, to be shot. A 20-something tech in Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop. Mr. President, you have not condemned these actions or this language. Senators, you have not condemned this language or these actions. This has to stop. We need you to step up, and if you're going to take a position of leadership, show some.
And again, anybody in this situation who doesn't have this type of urgency can go fuck themselves. Any of y'all who are going to tell me you give a fuck about this country and you are not as outraged at this man that fucking random election officials are having their lives threatened for carrying your vote, go fuck yourself. Right? Like, y'all, this is supposed to be the most basic shit in the world. The most basic shit in the world. Y'all show up at the poll, you got whatever means you got there, or you send your shit in, you say who you want to vote for, everybody counts the votes, we announce the winner becomes the next president. That's how simple it goes. These people are getting death threats for doing their grossly underpaid job. Not acceptable.
My boss, Secretary Raffensperger, his address is out there. They have people doing caravans in front of their house. They've had people come onto their property. It has to stop.
He's the worst.
This is elections. This is the backbone of democracy. And all of you who have not said a damn word are
But honestly, guys, the guy in front of us right now is actually far more of a mafia boss than Trump. Number one, look at his outfit, right? Trump basically wears the same suit all the fucking time and always looks like shit wearing it. This guy's got the actual legit boss jacket on and looks nice. And any legit mafia boss is also doing what this guy does, right? Like mafia bosses know, we really don't want to be bringing unnecessary attention to ourselves by doing petty crimes. So if you guys could stop threatening civilians, like that'd be fucking great. Hey, I got an idea, fuckfaces. How about you guys stop like committing treason in public because you're going to bring a lot of attention to what we're doing around here. Right? Right. This is what an actual legit mafia boss is. Believe it or not, a mafia boss would have been a much better president than Donald Trump. A mafia boss like, no, I can't do that. No. We making a lot of money behind the scenes. No, very orderly. Everything very orderly. What are you talking about? No, you don't. No. We escort. We buy the sandwiches. You know what real mafia bosses doing? Real mafia bosses are buying the sandwiches for election workers. Right? They're like, oh, the election workers, we love you guys. Yeah, could y'all, yeah, let's take a peek of that sheet while you get the sandwich. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, they know how to charm their way to some motherfucking... Soundboard, nope, delayed. It's because I got to take this shit off the remote hard drive. It's on a remote hard drive, and I have to be like, I was sleeping. I was taking a nap. All right, but for real, y'all, it's just fucked up.
Sit in this.
The point is this. Donald Trump did not care about the threats of violence. He did not condemn them.
You want the speaker to say something like "come dumpster"?
He went forward with his
just for the signing of it.
Anyway.
That's hilarious. I think a lot of people think that.
One more point. I would urge all of those watching today to focus on the evidence the committee will present. Don't be distracted by politics. This is serious. We cannot let America become a nation of conspiracy theories and thug violence. Finally, I want to thank our witnesses today for all of your service to our country. Today, all of America will hear about the selfless actions of these men and women who acted honorably to uphold the law, protect our freedom, and preserve our Constitution. Today, Mr. Chairman, we will all see an example of what truly makes America great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Without objection, the chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Schiff, for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Vice Chair. On November 3rd, 2020, Donald Trump ran for re-election to the office of the presidency, and he lost. His opponent, Joe Biden, finished ahead in the key battleground states of Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and elsewhere. Nevertheless, and for the first time in history, the losing presidential candidate fought to hold on to power. As we have seen in previous hearings, he did so through a variety of means. On Election Day, he sought to stop the counting of the vote, knowing that the millions of absentee ballots elections officials would be counting on Election Day and thereafter would run strongly against him and deliver a victory to Joe Biden. Next, and when he could not stop the counting, he tried to stop state legislatures and governors from certifying the results of the election. He went to court and filed dozens of frivolous lawsuits, making unsubstantiated claims of fraud. When that too failed, he mounted a pressure campaign directed at individual state legislators to try to get them to go back into session and either declare him the winner, decertify Joe Biden as the winner, or send two slates of electors to Congress, one for Biden and one for him, and pressure Vice President Pence to choose him as the winner. But the state legislatures wouldn't go along with this scheme, and neither would the vice president. None of the legislatures
if she ever
agreed
said
to go
thug
back
life,
into special
I would
session
die.
and declare him the winner.
That would be the best. Trump is the world's greatest sore loser, but I also want to give him credit because I've realized over these years he's a pretty damn good grifter. And he's also getting better with his rally shit, y'all. If you really watch Trump rally, I'm a very close Trump watcher. Trump is actually increasing in some of his speeches. He still gets wild and he's he's really bad. But his ability to hold his crowd and handle sort of party business when he gives his rally speeches and stuff is actually getting better, which is kind of alarming.
No legitimate state authority in the states Donald Trump lost would agree to appoint fake Trump electors and send them to Congress. But this didn't stop the Trump campaign either. They assembled groups of individuals in key battleground states and got them to call themselves electors, created phony certificates associated with these fake electors, and then transmitted these certificates to Washington and to the Congress to be counted during the joint session of Congress on January 6th. None of this worked. But according to Federal District Judge David Carter, former President Trump and others likely violated multiple federal laws by engaging in this scheme, including conspiracy to defraud the United States. You will hear evidence of the former president and his top advisors' direct involvement in key elements of this plot, or what Judge Carter called a coup in search of a legal theory. For as the judge explained, President Trump's pressure campaign to stop the electoral count did not end with Vice President Pence. It targeted every tier of federal and state elected officials. Convincing state legislatures, he said, to certify competing electors was essential to stop the count and ensure President Trump's reelection. As we have seen in our prior hearings, running through this scheme was a big lie that the election was plagued with massive fraud and somehow stolen. You'll remember what the president's own attorney general, Bill Barr, said he told the president about these claims of massive fraud affecting the outcome of the election.
And
the QAnon stuff, as crazy as it is, guys, it's no crazier than Christianity. So I'm gonna try to sum it up very simple in a way you can understand all these people. They believe in Jesus. Now again, y'all can keep trying to make yourselves feel better. You can keep looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, I'm a great person and I'm going to continue to be really, really nice to these people and tell them how smart and how wonderful and how loved they are. But I ain't with it because of shit like this here. If somebody would have told these fuckfaces in 8th grade that they were sitting on some bullshit and they needed to get their shit together and get it straight, okay? I just believe that, and I've been reflecting a lot on how people treat my grandparents, right? Part of the reason I'm very pessimistic about getting them to ever change their minds about anything of substance is because people won't stop kissing their ass for sitting on some bullshit. People won't stop telling them how great they are, how wonderful they are, how holy they are, how smart they are. And then anytime somebody tells them they're sitting on some bullshit, they go, oh, how dare you? How dare you? And so what do they have to compare in their head? All the fucking stacks and thousands of people who keep telling them how fucking great they are, specifically because they're sitting on some Christian bullshit, right? Against like one or two black sheeps here and there who tell them they're sitting on some bullshit, and then everybody else tells them that the people who told them that were just being a bunch of rude assholes. So if y'all really want to get serious about getting rid of QAnon, you might want to get rid of the fucking societal fucking epistemology that allows people to just believe whatever the fuck they want. You might want to take the risk of a couple of your believing friends thinking you're a little bit rude, but ultimately thanking you in the end for being brave enough to tell them to their face that the shit they believe doesn't make any sense. And then maybe we wouldn't have QAnoners in Congress. But if y'all want to keep being friends with the fucking morons, by all means.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public was bullshit. I mean, that the claims of fraud were bullshit.
The president's lie was and is a dangerous cancer on the body politic. If you can convince Americans that they cannot trust their own
high
elections,
on their own supply,
that any time they lose, it is somehow
pro wrestling
illegitimate,
promos, he did.
then what is left but
Perfect
violence
assessment.
to determine who should govern? This brings us to the focus of
Guys, which I did too, which is exactly why I knew it would work.
Today's hearing. When state elections officials refused to stop the count, Donald Trump and his campaign tried to put pressure on them. When state executive officials refused to certify him the winner of states he lost, he applied more pressure. When state legislators refused to go back into session and appoint Trump electors, he amped up the pressure yet again. Anyone who got in the way of Donald Trump's continued hold on power after he lost the election was the subject of a dangerous and escalating campaign of pressure. This pressure campaign brought angry phone calls and texts, armed protests, intimidation, and all too often, threats of violence and death. State legislators were singled out. So too were statewide elections officials. Even local elections workers, diligently doing their jobs, were accused of being criminals and had their lives turned upside down. As we will show, the president's supporters heard the former president's claims of fraud and the false allegations he made against state and local officials as a call to action.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal! You're a threat to democracy!
Yeah, Barr's crazy.
You're a threat to free and honest
Dumb
election.
Watergate, dumb Rubicon. Under pressure. Wow. Wow.
And then about 45 minutes later, we started to hear the noises outside my home, and that's my stomach sunk, and I thought, it's me. And then it's just, we don't know what's going to, I mean, the uncertainty of that was what was the fear. Like, are they coming with guns? Are they going to attack my house? I'm in here with my kid, I'm trying to put him to bed. And so it was, that was the scariest moment, just not knowing what was going to happen.
This pressure campaign against state and local officials spanned numerous contested states, as you will see in this video produced by the Select Committee.
My name is Josh.
Not just any old no name.
That's funny. For the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol.
No name, what are your thoughts on the other no name? Who the fuck is that other no name? Why is there another no name? And why won't they change their name to something else? I don't know. They may have even had it first for all I know, but it's literally the same name. It's just lowercase. It's awful.
Beginning in late November 2020, the president and his lawyers started appearing before state legislators, urging them to give their electoral votes to Trump, even though he lost the popular vote.
I'm hoping that if we just keep telling them that they're not the real no name long enough, they'll change it.
I represent President Trump along with Jenna Ellis, and this is our fourth or fifth hearing.
This election has to be turned around because we won Pennsylvania by a lot and we won all of these.
Oh, that's why.
This was a strategy with both practical and legal elements. The Select Committee has obtained an email from just 2 days after the election in which a Trump campaign lawyer named Cleta Mitchell asked another Trump lawyer, John Eastman, to write a memo justifying the idea.
When do you remember this coming up as an option in the post-election period for the first time?
I gotta grab more papers. I'll be right back. I'm putting the speakers on.
It might have been before the election.
Eastman prepared a memo attempting to justify this strategy, which was circulated to the Trump White House, Rudy Giuliani's legal team, and state legislators around the country. And he appeared before the Georgia state legislature to advocate for it publicly.
But you could also do what the Florida legislature was prepared to do, which is to adopt a slate of electors yourself. And when you add in the mix of the significant statistical anomalies and sworn affidavits and video evidence of outright election fraud, I don't think it's just your authority to do that, but quite frankly, I think you have a duty to do that, to protect the integrity of the election here in Georgia.
But Republican officials in several states released public statements recognizing that President Trump's proposal was unlawful. For instance, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp called the proposal unconstitutional, while Arizona House Speaker Rusty Bowers wrote that the idea would undermine the rule of law. The pressure campaign to get state legislators to go along with the scheme intensified.
See you in a minute, YouTube punk. Thanks for using the Be Right Back command.
Michigan and Pennsylvania to the White House.
Either you or Speaker Chatfield, did you make the point to the president that you were not going to do anything that violated Michigan law?
I believe we did. Whether or not it was those exact words or not, but I think that the words that I would have more likely used is we were going to follow the law.
Nevertheless, the pressure continued. The next day, President Trump tweeted, quote, "Hopefully the courts and or legislatures will have the courage to do what has to be done to maintain the integrity of our elections and the United States of America itself. The world is watching." He posted multiple messages on Facebook listing the contact information for state officials and urging his supporters to contact them to, quote, "demand a vote on decertification." In one of those posts, President Trump disclosed Mike Shirkey's personal phone number to his millions of followers.
All I remember is receiving over just shy of 4,000 text messages over a short period of time, calling
Goddamn
to take action. It was a loud noise.
Yeah, this is history in the making, like it or not.
You know, we hear that the Trump folks are calling and asking for changes in the electors, and you guys can do this. Well, you know, they were believing things that were untrue.
These efforts also involved targeted outreach to state legislators.
Hi, Representative. My name is Angela McCallum. I'm calling from Trump campaign headquarters in Washington, D.C. You do have the power to reclaim your authority.
I'm not sure yet, No Name. I honestly feel like it's going to become just another thing on the list that we are in two different realities about. Again, some of us evolved, some of us were created. Some of us are trying to do everything we can to avoid the virus. Some of us are doing everything we can do to avoid the vaccine. Some of us are trying to get rid of racism. Some of us are trying to get rid of critical race theory, right? So some of us are going to be trying to make sure January 6th never happens again. And it'll be the one thing that we agree on, because the other side will be making sure January 6th never happens again, because it should work next time, and make sure none of them go to jail next time, and make sure they can legally send a slate of alternate electors if they don't like the results next time, and make sure they have a vice president that'll try to go along with it, right? And they elect military commanders that'll fucking legitimize it, and their 6'3" Supreme Court will say, well, yeah, I think the vice president has the constitutional authority to just, you know, yeah, he can make this decision if he wants to. You know, so I hope so, but I'm not optimistic about it.
And a slate of electors that will support President Trump
no
and
shame.
President Pence.
From President Trump's lawyers and from Trump himself.
And I've become friendly with legislators that I didn't know 4 weeks ago.
Another legislator, Pennsylvania House Speaker Brian Cutler, received daily voicemails from Trump's lawyers in the last week of November.
Mr. Speaker, this is Rudy Giuliani and Jenna Ellis. We're calling you together because we'd like to discuss, obviously, the election.
Hello, Mr. Speaker. This is Jenna Ellis, and I'm here with Mayor Giuliani.
Hey, Brian, it's Rudy. I really have something important to call to your attention that I think really changes things.
Cutler felt that the outreach was inappropriate and asked his lawyers to tell Rudy Giuliani to stop calling, but Giuliani continued to reach out.
I understand that you don't want to talk to me now. I just want to bring some facts to your attention and talk to you as a fellow Republican.
On December 30th, Trump ally Steve Bannon announced a protest at Cutler's home.
We're getting on the road and we're going down to Cutler. We're going to start going to offices, and if we have to, we're going to go to homes, and we're going to let them know what we think about them.
There were multiple protests. I actually don't remember the exact number. There was at least 3, I think, outside either my district office or my home. And you're correct, my son, my then 15-year-old son, was home by himself for the first one. All of my personal information was doxed online. It was my personal email, my personal cell phone, my home phone number, In fact, we had to disconnect our home phone for about 3 days.
Taco, I love that. Germany never again. America, let's try again. It's terrible.
Brian Cutler, we're outside.
Terrible how right I am. Yeah, I agree.
Clerks facing felony charges in Michigan. Poll watchers denied access in Pennsylvania.
These ads were another element in the
Yeah, and the thing about the Republican Jesus is I'm just tired of Jesus, man. You know, my family's full of these Democrat Jesus freaks, and they're the ones, they irritate me just as much. I don't know why.
The Trump campaign spent millions of dollars running ads online and on television.
The evidence is overwhelming. Call your governor and legislators. Demand they inspect the machines and hear the evidence.
Public pressure on state
but the
officials
FBI is
often
part of
grew
the deep
dangerous
state
in the lead up to January 6th.
and run by Antifa.
What are we going to do? What can you and I do to a state legislature besides kill them? Although we should not do that. I'm not advising that, but I mean, what else can you do, right?
And if y'all don't want to back me up on telling these theatards to go fuck themselves, you know, we need all the help we can get in this atheist community. You need to support atheism. Okay? You need to stop fucking around. Tell the religious people in your life there is no God without evidence. Until further notice, there's no fucking God. And y'all need to wake the fuck up and stop being retards. And if you need evidence for what I'm telling you, and again, I'm going to say it very clearly, you need to stop fucking around and strongly support atheism. Because if these motherfuckers are willing to strap up and have a retard revolution over the fact that we told them Donald Trump, a man who had zero qualifications to begin with, lost an election for president of the United States. You see what they do, right? We'll burn this motherfucker down, okay? Now, close your eyes and imagine the truth that we are trying to get them accept all at once as a society is that their God isn't real. Right? Right? Donald Trump himself will tell you there's one person more famous than Donald Trump. His name is Jesus. Most of these Korea fucktards will tell you there's one person they're more loyal to than Donald Trump. His name is Jesus. So when you see your friends, family, loved ones, and YouTube perverts like myself out here trying to tell these fuckheads your God isn't real and Jesus can go fuck himself, but he can't save a person from a goddamn thing. And you go, well, I don't know. I think you're being a little mean there. I think that's a little strong. I think you should be nice to them and make them cupcakes instead. Go fuck yourselves. Because if they're going to ride like this over Donald Trump, they're going to ride that much harder against Jesus. And so you might want to think about spending more effort criticizing them than us and backing us the fuck up when they come for us with their fucking ARs. Just saying. Just saying. You think they took this news badly? Wait till they hear what I got to tell them.
The punishment for treason is death.
The state pressure campaign and the danger it posed to state officials
and
state
capitals
around the nation was a dangerous precursor to the violence we saw on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol. Today you will hear from Rusty Bowers, the Republican Speaker of the Arizona House of Representatives. He will tell us about his conversations with the President, Rudy Giuliani, and John Eastman, and what the President's team asked of him, and how his oath of office would not permit it. You will then hear from Brad Raffensperger, the Republican Secretary of State of Georgia, who Trump directed to, quote, find 11,780 votes that did not exist, but just the exact number of votes needed to overtake Joe Biden. You will also hear from Gabriel Sterling, the chief operating officer, his chief operating officer, about the spurious claims of fraud in the elections in Georgia, and who, responding to a cascading set of threats to his elections team, warned the president to stop, that someone was going to get killed. and you will hear from Wandrea Shamos, a former local elections worker in Fulton County, Georgia, about how all of the lies about the election impacted the lives of real people who administer our elections and still do. You will hear what they experienced when the most powerful man in the world, the President of the United States, sought to cling to power after being voted out of office by the American people. The system held.
And white Christian nationalists going to white Christian nationalists.
Because
exactly.
People of courage, Republicans and Democrats, like the witnesses you will hear today, put their oath to the country and Constitution above any other consideration. They did their jobs, as we must do ours. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
I now welcome our first panel of witnesses. We're joined today by a distinguished legislator from Arizona, Rusty Bowers, who's a Republican Speaker of the Arizona House of Representatives. Mr.
That's
Bowers
the MO,
was first
Taco.
elected to the state legislature.
Taco already knows the vibe. He knows the
1993
blueprint.
And has served as Speaker since 2019. Welcome, Speaker Bowers. Brad Raffensperger is the 29th Secretary of State of Georgia, serving in this role since 2019. As an elected official and a Republican, Secretary Raffensperger is responsible for supervising elections in Georgia and maintaining the state's public records. Welcome, Mr. Secretary. Gabriel Sterling is the Chief Operating Officer in the Georgia Secretary of State's office. Mr. Sterling was the statewide
Do you have robot
voting
insurance?
systems implementation manager for the 2020 election in Georgia, responsible for leading the Secretary of State's
we get to hear from this guy. Let's
COVID
go.
Pandemic and rolling out modernized voting equipment. I will swear in our witnesses. The witnesses will please stand and raise their right hand. Do you swear?
And Raffensperger and Bowers, hold on to your butts, grab your fucking popcorn.
And nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Y'all, you probably ain't gonna get a more dramatic, interpersonal, fucked up and exciting civics lesson than this one. The government is boring as shit. I keep trying to tell you, this is about as dramatic as it gets. So put on some music you like, get you some alcohol, get you a snack. Let's get into this fucked up ass drama.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record reflect that the witnesses answered in the affirmative.
Holding your nuts is good, no name. That
Speaker
counts.
Bowers, thank you for being with us today.
Just
You're
don't
the
do it
Speaker
on
of the
camera on our
Arizona
fucking
House
Discord.
and a
Okay.
self-described conservative Republican. You campaigned for President Trump and with him during the 2020 election. Is it fair to say that you wanted Donald Trump to win a second term in office? Please.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, y'all, stream's over. Sorry, he said he wanted Donald Trump for a second term. Sorry, I thought we were going to listen to some credible people. Apparently, we have nothing else to cover. Good night. Nah, I'm just kidding, but homie, that's not a good way to start a testimony. It's so fucked up, y'all, right? Because they gotta give him his credibility with the Republicards. They gotta be like, hey, you're a real true blue Trumpist, aren't you? Hey, you one of the real MAGA fuckheads, aren't you? You really wanted this twice-in-peace fucknuts Donald Trump to be president again, didn't you? Right? Because then what he goes on to say has credibility with these fucktards. But y'all gotta keep it real. He just lost a bunch of credibility with us. Like, if you watch 4 years of Trump, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you thought 4 more years of Trump was better than Joe Biden literally at, not only in his basement, but in his shitter. Joe Biden on the toilet in his basement for 4 years, right? I ain't even gonna fuck with y'all. People was giving Joe Biden a hard time about staying in his basement when he was trying to avoid COVID. There was 0% chance that I was not voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden could have been hiding out in a treehouse with a motherfucking Nerf gun. making fucking s'mores in Delaware with his grandkids, and I would have voted for his ass over Donald Trump every single time.
And is it your understanding that President Biden was the winner of the popular vote in Arizona in 2020?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Pursuant to Section 5C8 of House Resolution 503, the chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Schiff, for questions.
Speaker Bowers, thank you for being with us today. Before we begin with the questions that I had prepared for you, I wanted to ask you about a statement that former President Trump issued, which I received just prior to the hearing.
Guys, listen, guys, we gotta be fair. If we're gonna criticize Trump, we gotta criticize Joe Biden too. Joe Biden's definitely known for hugging grandmothers. Guys, I know you've seen the pictures online. Joe Biden will fucking hug the shit out of your grandmother. All right, what a fucking perv. Fucking pervert Joe Biden is out here rubbing on people's grandmas.
Have you had a chance to review that statement?
My counsel called from Arizona and read it to me. Yes, sir.
In that statement, I won't read it in its entirety. Former President Trump begins by calling you a rhino, Republican in name only. He then references a conversation in November 2020 in which he claims that you told him that the election was rigged and that he had won Arizona. To quote the former president, during the conversation, he told me the election was rigged and that I won Arizona, unquote. Did you have such a conversation with the president?
I did have a conversation with the president. That certainly isn't it, but there were parts of it that are true, but there are parts that are not, sir.
And the part that I read you, is that false?
Anywhere, anyone, anytime has said that I said the election was rigged, that would not be true.
And when
you guys are funny.
the
Perfect
former
granny
president in his
hugger.
statement today claimed
Biden will
that
pretzel
you
your
told him that he
grandmother,
won
folks.
Arizona. Is that also false?
That is also false.
The extra cinnamon sugar.
Mr. Bowers, I understand that after the election.
Also, guys, I don't like when people smell like baked goods. So can we tell our grandmothers to stop wearing vanilla? Grandma, put on some floral shit or some perfume or something, because I want my grandma to make my baked goods. I don't want her to smell like my baked goods. No more grandmas with the cinnamon sugar Bath and Body Works or the honey vanilla, whatever that shit is. I don't like that shit.
Election, and I don't know whether this is the conversation the former president is referring to, but after the election, you received a phone call from President Trump and Rudy Giuliani in which they discussed the result of the presidential election in Arizona. If you would, tell us about that call and whether the former president or Mr. Giuliani raised allegations of election fraud.
Thank you. My wife and I had returned from attending our church meetings. It was on a Sunday. And we were still in the driveway, and I had received a call from a colleague telling me that the White House was trying to get in touch with her and I, and that she said, please, if you get a call, let's try to take this together. Immediately, I saw that the White House on my Bluetooth was calling, and I took the call and was asked by I would presume the operator at the White House if I would hold for the president, which I did, and Mr. Giuliani came on first, and niceties, then Mr. Trump, President Trump, then President Trump came on, and we initiated a conversation.
During that conversation, did you ask Mr. Giuliani for proof of these allegations of fraud that he was making?
I just want the Krispy Kreme donuts.
And when you asked him for evidence of this fraud, what did he say?
I might have to figure out where I could order something
from. He said that they did have proof, and I asked him, do you have names? For example, we have 200,000 illegal immigrants, some large number, 5,000 or 6,000 dead people, etc. And I said, do you have their names? Yes. Will you give them to me? Yes. The president interrupted and said, give the man what he needs, Rudy. He said, I will. And that happened on at least 2 occasions that interchange in the conversation.
So Mr. Giuliani was claiming in the call that there were hundreds of thousands of undocumented people and thousands of dead people who had purportedly voted in the election?
Yes.
And you asked him for evidence of that?
I did.
And did you ever receive from him that evidence either during the call, after the call, or to this day?
Never.
What was the ask during this call? He was making these allegations of fraud, but he had something or a couple things that they wanted you to do. What were those?
The ones I remember were first that we would hold.
Yeah, I'll go way out of my way for dank cinnamon rolls.
Allow an official committee at the Capitol so that they could hear this evidence and that we could take action thereafter. And I refused. I said, up to that time, the circus, I called it a circus, had been brewing with lots of demonstrations, both at the counting center, at the Capitol, and other places. And I didn't want to have that in the House. I did not feel that the evidence, granted in its absence, merited a hearing, and I didn't want to be used as a pawn if there was some other need that the committee hearing would fulfill. So that was the first ask, that we hold an official committee hearing.
And what was his second ask?
I said, to what end? To what end the hearing? He said, well, we have heard by an official high-up in the Republican legislature that there is a legal theory or a legal ability in Arizona that you can remove the electors of President Biden and replace them. And we would like to have the legitimate opportunity through the committee to come to that end and remove that. And I said, that's something that's totally new to me. I've never heard of any such thing. And he pressed that point. And I said, look, you are asking me to do something that is counter to my
I
oath
love white chocolate macadamia nut cookies.
Constitution to uphold it. And I also swore
put them bitches in the oven.
Constitution and the laws of the state of Arizona. And this is totally foreign as an idea or a theory to me.
Yeah, Hail Mary,
and I
y'all.
would never do anything of such.
But this is the perfect example, right, of like people who say about evolution or these other scientific theories, oh, it's just a theory. And it's like, well, in science, we mean something, you know, very specific and actually quite impressive when we say something's a theory. We mean, you know, it was probably originally based on observations and it's held up to repeated experimentation and observation, and it's got a tremendous amount of explanatory and predictive power, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these guys are using theory in the old America common parlance, you know, colloquial sense of the term, and it is jarring to my ears because it's like Trump's cooked up whatever the fuck it is. I don't want to call it a theory. I really don't even want to call it an idea because it seems to be a demonstration of them not thinking rather than thinking. But yeah, it's getting to me too.
Such magnitude without deep consultation with qualified attorneys, and I said, I've got some good attorneys,
I'm going
to give you their names. But you are asking me to do something against my oath, and I will not break my oath. And I think that was up to that point.
During the conversation, and you heard, I think, when we played a snippet of Mr. Giuliani calling other state legislators and saying that he was calling us essentially a fellow Republican, did he make a similar appeal to you or bring up the fact that you shared a similar party?
Whether it was in that call or in a later meeting, he did bring that up more than once.
And how would he bring that up?
He would say, aren't we all Republicans here? I would think we would get a better reception. I mean, I would think you would listen a little more open to my suggestions, that we're all Republicans.
And this evidence that you asked him for that would justify this extraordinary step. I think you said they never produced. Why did you feel, either in the absence of that evidence or with it, what they were asking you to do would violate your oath to the Constitution?
First of all, when the people, and in Arizona, I believe it's some 40 plus years earlier, the legislature had established the manner of electing our officials, or the electors for the presidential race. Once it was given to the people, as in Bush v. Gore, illustrated by the Supreme Court, it becomes a fundamental right of the people. So as far as I was concerned, for someone to ask me in the, I would call it a paucity, there was no evidence being presented of any strength. Evidence can be hearsay evidence, it's still evidence, but it's still hearsay. But strong judicial quality evidence, anything that would say to me, you have a doubt, deny your oath. I will not do that. And on more than one occasion throughout all this, that has been brought up, and it is a tenet of my faith that the Constitution is divinely inspired.
Y'all, I can't, like, I know we gotta have the right-wing geezers on to show the other right-wing geezers that this really happened, and you gotta let the Jesus tards on so they can tell you that the founding fathers were like the fucking 12 disciples, and holy shit, our society fucking sucks that these people are in leadership. I believe the Constitution, written by 12 white dudes who really didn't think too much shit about anybody else, that was mostly fucking borrowed from fucking England's bullshit ass elitist white people worshiping doctrine. Do you guys know that when a black person hears an old white geezer say that the Constitution is divinely inspired, we just in our mind, we just hear the argument that the Bible, which tells people how to enslave people, is divinely inspired, and we just go, yep, these motherfuckers literally worship that shit. That's their fucking jam. God, they love to tell us how fucking perfect and immaculate this document that was like, hey Jay, you're not fully a human. Yeah, Jay, people that look like you, they just not fully a human. And people go, no, well, they messed a couple of things up, but it was really great. Oh, it was really fucking innovative for its time. Oh, let's suck off the founding fathers. Go fuck yourself.
Of my most basic foundational beliefs. And so for me to do that because somebody just asked me to is foreign to my very being. I will not do it.
During that conversation, Speaker Bowers, did you ask him if what he was proposing had ever been done before?
I did.
And what did he say?
He said, well, I'm not familiar with Arizona law or any other laws, but I don't think so. And that also was brought up in other conversations, both with him and with John Eastman and others.
Speaker Bowers, I understand that a week after that call, Mr. Giuliani appeared with others associated with President Trump's effort to overturn the result of the election at a purported legislative hearing in a hotel ballroom in Phoenix. Was this an official hearing of the state legislature?
It was not.
And why was it not a real or official hearing of the legislature?
A legislator can hold a group meeting. You can call it a hearing. But when they asked me to have an official hearing, we establish it by protocols, public notice, etc. It's typically held at the Capitol, but doesn't need to be. We can authorize a hearing off campus. And in this case, I had been asked on several occasions to allow a hearing. I had denied it, but said, you're free to hold a meeting, any meeting you want, to the person who asked. and which he ultimately did. I think he was a little frustrated, but he ultimately did.
This meeting was the same day, I believe, that the governor of Arizona, Doug Ducey, certified Biden as the winner of the presidential election in Arizona. Did you meet with Mr. Giuliani and his associates while they were in Phoenix sometime after that purported legislative hearing at the hotel?
Yes, I did, sir.
And at that meeting, did Mr. Giuliani raise any specific allegations of election fraud again?
His initial comments were, again, the litany of groups of illegal individuals or people deceased, etc. And he had brought that up, and I wasn't alone in that meeting. There were others, and other members of the Senate aggressively questioned him. And then I proceeded to question him on the proof that he was going to bring me, etc. But he did bring those up, yes.
And these other legislators were also Republican members of the Senate?
They were, yes, sir.
And did they also press him for proof of these allegations?
They pressed him very strongly. Two of them especially, very strongly.
And at some point, did Mr. Giuliani ask one of the other attorneys on his team to help him out with the evidence?
He did. He asked Jenna Ellis, who was sitting to his right. One thing was that it was more to the point of, was there sufficient evidence or action that we could justify the recalling of the electors? But at that part of the conversation, I know he referred to someone else. But he did ask, do we have the proof, to Jenna, Miss Ellis? And she said, yes. And I said, I want the names. Do you have the names? Yes. Do you have how they voted?
Yeah, it's hard. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm trying to listen to this dude, but like the religious overtures at the beginning, I kind of tuned him out. And this is something I wish Christians would realize. The thing that makes you guys dog whistle to each other so you guys can gain credibility with each other, you just lose it with people like me that want to take reality seriously. I just get so uninterested. And then again, like, I'm sure what he's saying is really important, but again, I just wish he would have, practiced a little separation of church and state, maybe just not use Christian dog whistle language. It really bothers me, guys. Sorry, it's my channel. I'm just going to say what I really think. I really think it's horseshit.
We have all the information. I said, can you get to me that information? Did you bring it with you? She said, no.
All right, I'm trying to focus on them, y'all.
Mr. Giuliani asked her, and I asked generally if they'd brought it with them. She said, no, it's not with me, but we can get it to you. And I said, then you didn't bring me the evidence, which was repeated in different iterations for some period of time.
At some point, did one of them make a comment that they didn't have evidence, but they had a lot of theories?
That was Mr. Giuliani.
And what exactly did he say, and how did that come up?
My recollection, he said, we've got lots of theories, we just don't have the evidence. And I don't know if that was a gaffe, or maybe he didn't think through what he said, but both myself and others in my group, the three in my group and my council, both remembered that specifically, and afterwards we kind of laughed about it.
And getting back to the ask in that phone call that preceded this meeting, he wanted you to have the legislature dismiss the Biden electors and replace them with Trump electors on the basis of these theories of fraud?
He did not say it in those exact words, but he did say that Arizona law, according to what he understood, that would be allowed, and that we needed to come into session to take care of that, which initiated a discussion about, again, what I can legally and not legally do, and I can't go into session in
Dumb
Arizona
Watergate
unilaterally or on my sole prerogative.
In this meeting or at any other later time, did anyone provide you with evidence of election fraud sufficient to affect the outcome of the presidential election?
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, in the sense that it's not actually holy writ and it can be changed, is what makes the Constitution far better than Scripture, if we're going to be fair about it. But at the same time, we can only fully leverage its ability to be amended and changed and keep up with the times if we're not going to treat it like it's a divinely inspired document, right? And for those of you that don't see the problem with this, you just don't know enough about the law, you don't know enough about politics, and you don't know enough about how this treating the Constitution like it's sacred document really influences our inability to change the system. Right? Because everything we do in this system goes back to, well, the precedent of the fucking previous system, which is based on the fucking what the old ass guy wrote 200 years ago, wrote previously. Well, in the 1776 case, when this came up, y'all, that's the whole fucking game. And according to Robert's rules of orders, is Robert alive right now? Then Robert can suck my nuts. Right? We don't have that system. We don't have the system where it's like, yo, let's just use social media. We'll take a poll right now. Like, we could get like 200 million Americans to let us know right now how they feel about this. Oh, let's poll America right now. Oh, ain't this a bitch? 75% of Americans support the right to abortion. Oh, guess. Oh shit, guess that's the new law now. Yeah, no, we took a government Facebook poll, and it turns out, literally, we did Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We polled fucking all. We told them they could vote, they could send the vote, they could mail it in. Yeah, and we counted it all. Yeah, we did it. It literally took like 2 weeks. Yeah, we did it, and 75% of Americans. Yeah, it was even higher than you thought. That Pew poll, that was bullshit. It's really like 75%. Yeah, so we just made it a federal law. Yeah, we saw the numbers. We called an emergency session of Congress. We sent it to the email. We said, put in your little code right there. Send us your vote. Yeah. And they all voted for it. Yeah, it's now federal law that abortion's legal, right? That's what a government would look like if you started one right now. Right? If you started a government right now in 2022, you would be like, how do we use 2022's demographics, ethos, ethics, morality, scientific understanding, and technology tools to create a government? You would use 2022 tools to create a government in 2022. Instead, we've got this piece of shit arcane document that I literally think is too rough for me to wipe my ass with, and it will burn too fast for me to roll a joint with. So I think it is literally not worth the paper it is written on. I mean that very sincerely. And we've got to keep amending that. But most of the people whose job it is to fucking amend that won't amend it because they want to honor the sacred divine spirit of the people who originally wrote the shit. And that's not how amending things works.
No one provided me ever such evidence.
The Select Committee has uncovered evidence in the course of our investigation that at Stop the Steal protests at state capitals across the country, there were individuals with
that old
ties
paper
to
might be hemp, though.
Parties
yeah,
involved.
Now we're getting into a conversation that matters. I love weed. See this weed? I'm about to smoke this weed in a raw paper. What is a raw paper made out of? It's hemp. Is this my favorite paper? No, it's not. The same. This is a marketing scheme. I'm about to show y'all. This is a marketing scheme. I bought these because they were available and I could buy them in bulk. This is a marketing scheme. Why do I say it's a marketing scheme? Because it's a natural, unrefined rolling paper, and it's made out of hemp, usually. A lot of these, or maybe this one isn't. Yeah, natural hemp fibers or whatever the fuck. It says natural fiber. It doesn't say hemp. Maybe it's not hemp. I'll look into it. But guys, the reason I say that is a lot of people think hemp papers are great. That's just pothead. That's your pothead brain kicking in. Do your homework, study, look it up, and then compare yourself. Roll a whole bunch of papers with hemp and roll a whole bunch of regular papers and then roll a whole bunch of papers with the winner. The same company that makes these makes papers called Elements papers. They're made out of rice. Rice papers are the best papers. So once again, yes, the Constitution might be written on hemp, but would I like to roll a joint with it? No. I'd be better off rolling that weed with a rice paper. Again, the Constitution can go fuck itself, and you've just had a science lesson in the best rolling papers. You're welcome.
In the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. One of those incursions took place in the Arizona House of Representatives building, as you can see in this footage.
Yeah, no name knows rice, baby, exactly. Raws are cool. They might actually be rice, but I'm telling y'all, Elements.
And refusing
it's the same company. Elements. Also, they have the interleaving with the water. I'm telling y'all, Elements papers, y'all. Elements papers. Just thank me later.
Leave the building. One of the individuals prominently shown in this video is Jacob Chansley.
But yeah, I have Raws by the box.
Perhaps
I have a whole
better
box of
known
them.
as the QAnon shaman, this rioter entered the Capitol on January 6th, was photographed leaving a threatening note on the dais in the U.S. Senate chamber, and was ultimately sentenced to 41 months in prison after...
Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. In the hood, we say the QAnon shaman did his thing. Oh yeah, Cameron Bennett, you gotta learn about these rice papers. All right, here we go, y'all. This for Cameron Bennett. What are raw papers made of? Use a pure organic gum. Yeah, sustainably harvested in Ethiopia with the gum papers. They're pretty good. But look, Elements rolling papers. See, they're made from natural materials too. Whatever the fuck y'all said. My birthday's August 12th. What year was I born, y'all? Everybody should get this one correct. 1986. See, all ultra thin rice papers. You want ultra thin so that you don't have more paper than you need. You want to smoke weed, not papers. Natural and earth-friendly materials. They burn with almost zero ash, except for the natural sugar gum that caramelizes as it burns. It's one of the best rolling papers on the market. And then they have water, right? Each sheet is imprinted with a crisscross watermark, and it helps prevent runs. Like, it helps it burn evenly, right? Water, right? Things don't burn when they run into water. So they have like this cross-hatching layer of water built into it. It does, and what it does is it stops the paper from burning unevenly. And then they use renewable energy, and they burn really, really well. So they're actually made. I think the same parent company owns Elements and Raws. They're both two of their big popular brands. But yeah, I tend to go with the Elements papers. They're sometimes harder to find than Raws. They also make hemp ones. Don't buy the hemp ones. Again, they only sell hemp rolling papers to make stoners feel good about smoking their weed and weed. But yeah, these rice papers are the bomb, y'all. 1 1/4 length, that's the French length. They're a bit longer than the American length. The American length is short paper, so you normally want these thin ones. If you don't roll with thin papers, eventually you want to roll with thin papers. It is a big difference in the quality of the smoke because it doesn't get folded over so many times. So it tastes better. And when you have really good papers, you don't need that many. You don't need to fold it over that many times. So yeah, those are my favorite papers. That's my plug. Unsponsored, just my real life recommendation.
Of an official proceeding. Other protesters who occupied the Arizona House of Representatives building included Proud Boys, while men armed with rifles stood just outside the entrance.
Oh shit, Lena! I didn't know we had the same birthday. That's crazy. Well, we doing a stream party, so we'll double it up. It'll be a Jay and Lena birthday party and / OG Roddy album release party. So the more the merrier.
I understand these protesters were calling for you by name. Speaker
I give two
Bowers.
fucks about my birthday anyway, so
correct.
It's all love. It's all love. Happy to share it.
Speaker Bowers, did the president call you again in later in December?
He did, sir.
Did you tell the president in that second call that
I'm
you
with it,
supported
Lena.
him,
Thank you.
that you voted for him, but that you were not going to do anything illegal for him?
I did, sir.
Nevertheless, his lawyer, John Eastman, called you some days later on June 4th, 2021. And he did have a very specific ask that would have required you to do just what you had already told the president you wouldn't do, something that would violate your oath. Is that correct?
That's correct. It wasn't just me. I had my counsel and others on the call.
And what did Dr. Eastman want you to do?
That we would.
Oh yeah, shout out to No Names fam, y'all. Happy birthday to No Names little brother, and happy birthday to moms. We appreciate y'all. I know No Name wishes y'all was spread out a little bit more. Having to give, you're like, I want to give my mom something really nice. I want to give my brother something really nice. Damn, this paycheck about to get hit the fuck up. But that's family, man. Definitely.
Overthrow, or I shouldn't say overthrow, that we would decertify the electors, and that because we had plenary authority to do so. And he cited Article 2, Section 1, I think it's Clause 2, and said that in his opinion that gave us the authority if there was, I don't recall him saying sufficient evidence, but there was some call or some strong reason to do so that we, or justification to do so that we could do that. And that he was asking that his suggestion was that we would do it. And I said, again, I took an oath. For me to take that, to do what you do, would be counter to my oath. I don't recall if it was in that conversation, clearly, that we talked more about the oath, but I said, what would you have me do?
No Names family knows what time it is. They like, look, y'all, from now on, if you're 21 or older, when your birthday gets happened, here's what happened. We get fucked up and drunk together. That's right. We get together, here, this little joint, that's on me. Yeah, here's a shot for your grown ass, and get the fuck over it. Now, what the fuck we gonna get all these goddamn kids? I know that's right, no, them fucking kids is expensive. And they want a goddamn party every year and shit. It's fucking ridiculous. Kids, y'all y'all fucking up the planet. Kids, y'all some of the most selfish motherfuckers on this planet. All of that, well, I only get to be young once, and they gotta enjoy their childhood. Fuck that. They should know, they should get exactly what they own in this world. Kid, your selfish ass ain't done shit for nobody. You shouldn't get shit from nobody. We will start throwing your ass parties once your ass gets a goddamn job, votes for the right side, and we determine you are a productive member of this goddamn society worth a motherfucking celebration. Right now, you ain't done shit but cost nobody a whole bunch of time, and motherfucker, you should be throwing us a party for all them years we were cleaning up your shit, and you still have not done a goddamn thing for nobody.
And I said, you're asking me to do something that's never been done in history, the history of the United States. Bring back
child labor, spoiled ass kids.
And I'm going to put my state through that without sufficient proof, and that's going to be good enough with me? That I would put us through that, my state, that I swore to uphold both in Constitution and in law?
Hey, Michigan State, baby.
No, sir.
Go Spartans.
He said, well, that's my suggestion would be...
Put some hair in your chest, boy.
Just do it and let the courts figure it all out. And he didn't use that exact phrase, but that was what his meaning was, and I declined, and I believe that was close to the end of our phone call.
And again, this took place after you had recently spoken with President Trump and told him that you wouldn't do anything illegal for him. Is that right?
It wasn't days after. Obviously, it was days after, but a few days had gone by.
But you had told President Trump you would not do anything illegal for him.
I did, both times.
And you told Dr. Eastman that you did not believe there was legal support to justify what he was asking, but he still wanted you to do it and effectively let the courts work it out?
I've been warned, don't say things you think, maybe he said, but I do remember him saying that the authority of the legislature was plenary and that you can do it. I said, then you should know that I can't even call the legislature into session without a 2/3 majority vote. We're only 30 plus 1. There's no way that could happen.
But in your view,
abort
what he
until
was asking
18
you to do would have violated your oath? the Constitution, both the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Arizona?
Yes, sir.
Did you also receive a call from U.S. Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona?
The funny thing is, it's a whole lot of black people in the audience that are like, wait a second. You can't abort until someone's 18? Why? Because what did black kids hear their whole life growing up? Listen, little nigga, I brought you into this world and I'll take you out. So when some of us got out the house, we got jobs, we went to college and shit, and they was like, yeah, you know, so-and-so wanted to have an abortion, but she was 4 weeks pregnant. And you be like, what? He was like, yeah, you know, it's illegal to get an abortion after 3 months. He was like, it is? Nigga, yeah, you can't get an abortion. Nigga, my mom told me she aborted me yesterday. Shit.
Arizona on the morning of January 6th.
I did.
And what did Mr.
white
Biggs
kids hear that too? I ain't know. I thought that was some shit. I thought that was some shit you was only allowed to say to black kids. You know, white kids be getting lawyers and shit. I thought if you said that shit to a white kid, they come home the next day. Now, I hired an attorney, and my attorney said, actually, you can't take me out of this world. Yeah. Matter of fact, he said, if you say that again, I'll own this house. Yeah, he said, you say that again, we'll be taking you to court. Yeah, I wouldn't say that anymore to me. See, we ain't had them kind of resources growing up. But I'm glad to hear white kids hear that shit too. That means we're moving towards equality. Hashtag racial progress.
That was the day that the vote was occurring to each state to have certification, or to declare the certification of the electors. And he asked if I would sign on to a letter that had been sent from my state, and or that I would support the decertification of the electors, and I said I would not.
Mr. Speaker, on December 4th, 2020, shortly after your meeting with Rudy Giuliani and other allies of President Trump, you released a statement publicly addressing, quote, calls for the legislature to overturn the 2020 certified election results. The statement is very straightforward in explaining the, quote, breathtaking request, unquote, made by representatives of President Trump. Quote, that the Arizona legislature overturn the certified results of last month's election and deliver.
Y'all, look at the guy on the left. Is it just me, or does this motherfucker have no lips? Right? Lips. No lips. This is, right? He just has upper mouth, lower mouth. Y'all, keep watching. I really don't think this man has lips.
Deliver the state's electoral college votes to President Trump.
He could play a villain in a superhero movie.
Why did you believe, as you wrote in this statement, that the rule of law forbid you from doing what President Trump and his allies wanted you to do?
Representative, I'm sorry, I should be saying, Mr. Chairman, Representative Schiff, there's two sides to the answer.
Y'all, even when he talk, he ain't got no lips.
What am I allowed to do, and what am I forbidden to do? We have no legal pathway, both in state law nor, to my knowledge, in federal law, for us to execute such a request. And I am not allowed to walk or act beyond my authority. If I'm not specifically authorized as a legislator, as a legislature, then I cannot act, to the point of calling us into session. Some say that just a few legislators have plenary authority.
All right, that's
and that is kind of.
Oh, let's go to desk.
I want you to get a good night's rest, and remember, I can murder you while you sleep. It's easy, son. All you have to be is quiet and willing to do it. And son, I am willing to do it. And I've got quiet shoes. Good night, son. Sleep well.
Daddy drank.
Oh, son. Son, how many girls called you today? 0? No, how many girls called you you yesterday. Let me guess. 0? Well, you know what they say, son. 0 plus 0 equals fag.
Wait. Y'all know how his son isn't William Lane Craig, y'all? Because if you would have asked William Lane Craig this question when he was a kid, hey, Bill. Hey, little Bill there. What's 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0?
We have a powerful cumulative case.
This motherfucker.
0 times any other number always equals fag. Think about it, you little mathematician.
Daddy was a salesman.
We have a powerful cumulative case.
Son, wake up. Wake up. It's midnight Christmas Eve, and I just want to say thank you, son. I don't deserve this, son. I don't deserve anything, to be honest with you. I don't deserve this. What the hell is this? Tap shoes? I don't dance. I can't dance, you little bastard.
Daddy couldn't dance. Oh, Daddy could drink.
Hey, son, you know how you've been bugging me to go and get you a puppy? Well, today after work, I went out and I bought you one. But on the way home, I got hungry and I ate it.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm joking. I never buy you a puppy.
Why didn't Daddy give up drinking? He couldn't. Daddy drank for the government.
Oh, did I wake you, son? Jeez, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up there. I was just looking for my moccasins. I don't know where they seem to have disappeared somehow, oddly. Well, you just get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna go out and buy a lot of carpeting. Hey, why not? I sell the crap, don't I?
Oh, sure.
Now, it's a shame you can't be raised when you're fully grown, right? Because that's like the worst kind of parent, but this clip is so funny that you're kind of like, you know, if I could be a grown-ass man where it really wouldn't fuck with me, it'd be kind of funny to have a dad like that. Like, if you could just sit there and smoke and be like, Dad, you need to get your shit together, but you's a funny nigga. That would be great.
Daddy. He was older and had children like me. Oh, I drink before I go to bed when I sleep. It's a drinking thing. It's a sleeping thing.
What do you think, Denny?
Well,
Exactly.
John.
Oh! Ooh, that felt like a real bump right there. That I felt that one. All right, y'all. I'm gonna also I'm gonna grab my food. I'm hungry.
Is part of all of
I'm
this.
gonna put my speakers on. I'll be right back.
I'll call it. But so to not have authority and be forbidden to act beyond my authority on both counts, I am not authorized to take such action, and that would deny my oath.
In your statement, you included excerpts from President Ronald Reagan's inaugural address in 1981. The newly inaugurated president told the country, quote, "The orderly transfer of authority as called for in the Constitution routinely takes place as it has for almost 2 centuries, and few of us stop to think how unique we really are. In the eyes of many in the world, this every 4-year ceremony we accept as normal is nothing less than a miracle." Tell us, if you would, Mr. Speaker, why did you include President Reagan's words in your public statement?
Mr. Chairman, Representative Schiff, because I have a lot of admiration for Ronald Reagan. I've had the opportunity of going through his home with one other person and walking through, and I have a lot of admiration for him. When he pointed out, which is, I have lived in other country for a period of time and have visited a few countries, and during election times, the fact that we allow an election, support an election, and stand behind the election, even in the past when there have been serious questions about the election, and then move on without disturbance and with acceptance that we choose to follow the outcome of the will of the people. That will, it means a lot to me, and I know it meant a lot to him, and so we included that.
Thank you, Speaker Bowers. I now want to look even more deeply at the fake electors scheme. Every 4 years, citizens from all over the United States go to the polls to elect their president. Under our Constitution, when we cast our votes for president, we are actually voting to send electors pledged to our preferred candidate to the Electoral College. In December, the electors in each state meet, cast their votes, and send those votes to Washington. There is only one legitimate slate of electors from each state. On the 6th day of January, Congress meets in a joint session to count those votes, and the winner of the Electoral College vote becomes the president. In this next segment, you'll hear how President Trump and his campaign were directly involved in advancing and coordinating the plot to replace legitimate Biden electors with fake electors not chosen by the voters. You'll hear how this campaign convinced these fake electors to cast and submit their votes through fake certificates, telling them that their votes would only be used in the event that President Trump won his legal challenges. Yet when the president lost those legal challenges, when courts rejected them as frivolous and without merit, the fake elector scheme continued. At this point, President Trump's own lawyers, so-called Team Normal, walked away rather than participate in the plan. And his own White House counsel's office said that the plan was not legally sound. Let's play the following video produced by the Select Committee.
My name is Casey Lucier. I'm an investigative counsel for the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol. On November 18th, a lawyer working with the Trump campaign named Kenneth Cheeseborough wrote a memo arguing that the Trump campaign should organize its own electors in the swing states that President Trump had lost. The Select Committee received testimony that those close to President Trump began planning to organize fake electors for Trump in states that Biden won in the weeks after the election.
Who do you remember being involved in those early discussions around the Thanksgiving time regarding having alternate electors meet?
Mr. Giuliani, several of Mr. Giuliani's associates, Mr. Meadows, members of Congress, although it's difficult to distinguish if the members that I'm thinking of were involved during Thanksgiving or if they were involved as we progressed through December.
At the president's direct request, the RNC assisted the campaign in coordinating this effort.
What did the president say when he called you?
Essentially, he turned the call over to Mr. Eastman, who then proceeded to talk about the importance of the RNC helping the campaign gather these contingent electors in case any of the legal challenges that were ongoing changed the result of any of the states. I think more just helping them reach out and assemble them. But my understanding is the campaign did take the lead, and we just were helping them in that role.
As President Trump and his supporters continued to lose lawsuits, some campaign lawyers became convinced that convening electors in states that Trump lost was no longer appropriate.
I just remember I either replied or called somebody saying, unless we have litigation pending that's like in these states, like, I don't think this is appropriate, or, you know, this isn't the right thing to do. I don't remember how I phrased it, but and I got into a little bit of a back and forth, and I think it was with Ken Cheeseborough, where I said, all right, you know, I mean, you just get after it. Like, I'm out.
At that point, I had Josh Finley email Mr. Chesbrough politely to say, this is your task. You are responsible for the Electoral College issues moving forward. And this was my way of taking that responsibility to zero.
The committee learned the White House counsel's office also felt the plan was potentially illegal.
And so to be clear, did you hear the White House counsel's office say that this plan to have alternate electors meet and cast votes for Donald Trump in states that he had lost was not legally sound?
Yes, sir.
And who was present for that meeting that you remember?
It was in our office. It was Mr. Meadows, Mr. Giuliani, and a few of Mr. Giuliani's associates.
The Select Committee interviewed several of the individual fake electors, as well as Trump campaign staff who helped organize the effort.
We were just, kind of useful idiots or rubes at that point. A strong part of me really feels that it's just kind of as the road continued and as that was failure, that got formulated as what do we have on the table? Let's just do it.
And now, after what we've told you today about the Select Committee's investigation about the conclusion of the professional lawyers on the campaign staff, Justin Clark, Matt Morgan, and Josh Finley, about their unwillingness to participate in the convening of these electors, how does that contribute to your understanding of these issues?
I'm angry. Because I think in a sense, no one really cared if people were potentially putting themselves in jeopardy.
Would you have not wanted to participate in this any further as well?
I absolutely would not have. Had I known that the three main lawyers for the campaign that I've spoken to in the past and were leading up were not on board. Yeah.
I was told that these would only count if a court ruled in our favor. So that would have been using our electors, would have been using our electors in ways that we weren't told about, and we wouldn't have supported.
Documents obtained by the Select Committee indicate that instructions were given to the electors in several states that they needed to cast their ballots in complete secrecy. Because this scheme involved fake electors, those participating in certain states had no way to comply with state election laws, like where the electors were supposed to meet. One group of fake electors even considered hiding overnight to ensure that they could access the state capitol, as required in Michigan.
Did Mr. Norton say who he was working with at all on this effort to have electors meet?
He said he was working with the president's campaign. He told me that the Michigan Republican electors were planning to meet in the Capitol and hide overnight so that they could fulfill the role of casting their vote per law in the Michigan chambers. And I told him in no uncertain terms that that was insane and inappropriate.
In one state, the fake
Now, let me tell you guys something in case you didn't know. Something else that you should understand in no uncertain terms is that these fools showed up also to the state house in Michigan, and these fools tried to cast illegal votes for Donald Trump. I wonder if we could, Michigan fake electors. Here we go. Republicans try to deliver their own electoral votes to Michigan Capitol. Enjoy.
So you're telling us we can't enter?
Yes, that's what we're telling you.
What did he say? He said we can't enter.
He says we can't
What he said
enter.
was, for the Capitol Commission, for the governor's office, for the Speaker.
This is my fucked up ass town, y'all. Right? Lansing, Michigan. This is the fucked up ass town I live in. That's the capital of the state of Michigan. This is the Michigan IQ you see on display here. These dumbasses, right? When the whole shit is to go to the fucking U.S. Capitol, right? To certify the election of the fucking president, right? These dumb fucks from Michigan are like, yeah, let's go downtown, right? Right? Dumb and lazy. The perfect combination of dumb and lazy. Because they definitely don't realize that you need to be in Washington to cast fake electoral votes for president, you stupid fuckfaces. No.
House, for the Speaker of the Senate, the Capitol is closed unless you have an office here to conduct business today, or if you are taking part in the Electoral College process. Anybody else
Right.
have the opportunity to come in?
They are here.
Which is a fucking proxy process anyway, fuckfaces. We're electors.
The electors are already here. They've been checked in.
Yeah, no, you're
They're
not.
also elected.
No, you're definitely
all 16
not.
electors that we've been advised by the governor's staff that we're going to be here to vote in the Electoral College have been checked in.
Yeah. All the
But these
legit
are-
people we
these
need
are the rest
here.
of the electors.
All the legit people we need here to certify the thing, so we can do it here, and then they can do the thing in Washington. Yeah, they're here. Yeah. We're good. We checked them all in already.
I understand. But it's the Capitol is closed. Everybody's permitted to come forward.
Captain. All right, guys. So I just wanted you to see that, yes, these people did try to do this stupid shit. They are as dumb as they look.
Fake electors even asked for a promise that the campaign would pay their legal fees if they got sued or charged with a crime. Ultimately, fake electors did meet on December 14th, 2020 in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Nevada, and Wisconsin. At the request of the Trump campaign, the electors from these battleground states signed documents falsely asserting that they were the, quote, duly elected electors from their state, and submitted them to the National Archives and to Vice President Pence in his capacity as President of the Senate. Here is what some of the fake elector certificates look like as compared to the real ones. But these ballots had no legal effect. In an email produced to the Select Committee, Dr. Eastman told a Trump campaign representative that it did not matter that the electors had not been approved by a state authority. Quote, the fact that we have multiple slates of electors demonstrates the uncertainty of either. That should be enough. He urged that Pence act boldly and be challenged. Documents produced to the Select Committee show that the Trump campaign took steps to ensure that the physical copies of the fake electors' electoral votes from 2 states were delivered to Washington for January 6th. Text messages exchanged between Republican Party officials in Wisconsin show that on January 4th, the Trump campaign asked for someone to fly their fake electors' documents to Washington. A staffer for Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson texted a staffer for Vice President Pence just minutes before the beginning of the joint session. This staffer stated that Senator Johnson wished to hand-deliver to the vice president the fake electors' votes from Michigan and Wisconsin. The vice president's aide unambiguously instructed them not to deliver the fake votes to the vice president. Even though the fake elector slates were transmitted to Congress and the executive branch, the vice president held firm in his position that his role was to count lawfully submitted electoral votes.
Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes.
Which is what he did when the joint session resumed on January 6th after the attack on the Capitol.
538.
What we just heard in that video was an aide to the White House Chief of Staff telling this committee that the White House counsel's office felt that this fake electors plan was not legally sound. Nevertheless, the Trump campaign went forward with the scheme anyway. Speaker Bowers, were you aware that fake electors had met in Phoenix on December 14th?
Sorry, I wanted to grab my food. No name, that was all I was trying to get at. I could have just said what no name said. I just want Republicans to admit that a crime foiled by the stupidity of the criminal doesn't make it legal. It's not legal to be an inept criminal, exactly. And we have all of those attempted this, attempted that, attempted this and that laws on the books for a reason, and this is no exception. And matter of fact, this is not really so much as that they didn't really go through with the crimes. They actually did go through with the crimes. They're just really dumb. Right? They did interfere with the electoral process. They did commit electoral fraud. Y'all just saw them. They did show up at the Capitol in a complete bid and effort to defraud the people of their vote and cast and purport themselves to be the duly elected officials when they weren't. Who did they tell that to? The motherfucking police officer that answered the goddamn door, right? I mean, Unbelievable.
And purported to cast electoral votes for President Trump?
I was not.
Yeah, hi, officer. I'd like to report a bank I'm about to rob. Yeah. Yeah, see here, this here the blueprint. We're gonna Oh, that's so stupid.
When you learned that these electors had met and sent their electoral votes to Washington, what did you think?
Well, I thought of the book, The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. And I just thought, this is a tragic parody.
Mr. Bowers, I understand that as you flew from Phoenix to Washington yesterday, you reflected upon some passages from a personal journal that you were keeping in December 2020 while all of this was taking place. With your permission, I'm wondering if you would be willing to share one passage in particular with us.
Thank you very much. It is painful to have friends who have been such a help to me turn on me with such rancor. I may, in the eyes of men, not hold correct opinions or act according to their vision or convictions, but I do not take this current situation in a light manner, a fearful manner, or a vengeful manner. I do not want to be a winner by cheating. I will not play with laws I swore allegiance to with any contrived desire towards deflection of my deep foundational desire to follow God's will.
Like I said, the fact that they didn't get shot in like 30 seconds just put on national TV what black people already knew. Two completely different systems of justice. And again, I get people, it may have been smart for them to not shooting them. Maybe we should admire these people for not shooting them. It may have been the best decision morally, practically, and tactically. But again, if it was black people, we'd be talking about all that after the fact. What did I do here? Here we go.
As I believe he led my conscience to embrace. How else will I ever approach him in the wilderness of life, knowing that I ask this guidance only to show myself a coward in defending the course he let me take. He led me to take.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Those are powerful words. I understand that taking the courageous positions that you did following the 2020 election in defense of the rule of law and protecting the voters of Arizona resulted in you and your family being subjected to protests and terrible threats. Can you tell us how this impacted you and your family?
Well, as others in the videos have mentioned, we received, my secretaries would say, in excess of 20,000 emails and tens of thousands of voicemails and texts, which saturated our offices and we were unable to work, or at least communicate. But at home, up till even recently, it is the new pattern or a pattern in our lives to worry what will happen on Saturdays, because we have various groups come by and they have had video panel trucks with videos of me proclaiming me to be a pedophile and a pervert and a corrupt and politician, and blaring loudspeakers in my neighborhood and leaving literature both on my property, but arguing and threatening with neighbors and with myself. I don't know if I should name groups, but there was one gentleman that had the 3 bars on his chest, and he had a pistol and was threatening.
But Demon, how could you say that about this man who just wanted to honor his duty to his country out of his love for Jesus? He wanted to approach Jesus. He understood. YouTube, I mean, blessed be he. His mettle was strong. He didn't forsake Jesus's fire. Okay? He's very repentant. He knows Jesus is the way, but he also knows Donald Trump's a fucking crook.
My neighbor, not with the pistol, but just vocally.
Basically.
When I saw the gun, I knew I had to get close.
I know, I told him, it's not original, it's so boring.
And at the same time,
he doesn't understand how bored we get. He doesn't understand we bore easily, and we bore especially easy of tired theists who say the same thing over and over again. Like, our whole thing is being tired of that. Like, that's core to our identity, is we want people to stop doing that because it's boring to us and it irritates us.
A daughter who was gravely ill.
But we love it when you make yourself look stupid.
Who was upset by what was happening outside. And my wife, that was a valiant person, very, very strong, quiet, very strong woman. So it was disturbing. It was disturbing.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for your service to the state of Arizona and to the country. Mr. Chairman, at this point, I think it'd be appropriate to take a short recess. Accordingly, I reserve the balance of my time.
The chair requests that those in the hearing room remain seated until the Capitol Police have escorted members and witnesses from the room. We'll have 5 minutes, 5-minute recess.
And with that, Chairman Benny Thompson following on the...
Gang, go ahead and take a break if you want. If you want to grab a snack or something. I'm going to let this 5-minute break ride out because, again, I really do have a ton of admiration and respect for the broadcasters who do these shows, on the various networks that actually cover these things. They don't get a lot of time to shine, usually just at the beginning or at the end. They do a tremendous job with these things, and I learn a great deal from them. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play out, give her 5 minutes. Go ahead and take a break if you'd like, and then I guess in about 5 minutes or so we'll have this resume.
The questions from Congressman Adam Schiff, who is a member of this January 6th Select Committee, called the committee to a brief recess. He said just 5 minutes. They are clearly trying to stick to the time that they set. We've just been listening to
fucking fabulous,
dramatic testimony from the Speaker of the House in the state of Arizona, the threats that he and his family have been under, and as he said,
shout out to NPR, shout out to PBS.
He stood up to former President Trump and the people around him who were urging him to overturn the results of the election.
I'm a big fan of public broadcasting
in the state of Arizona. Not to mention other testimony about other election officials around the country who've been threatened repeatedly because they stood up to the former president. Joining me right now to help analyze the hearing so far, Tammy Patrick of the Nonpartisan Democracy Fund. She previously served as a Maricopa County, Arizona election official for more than a decade. And also Al Schmidt, he's the Republican. He is a Republican, and he's also former commissioner for the city of Philadelphia. He dealt firsthand with former President Trump's false claims about the 2020 election. Last week, he testified at the second January 6th Select Committee hearing. Welcome to both of you. Tammy Patrick, I'm going to come to you because of your background in Arizona. You have heard much of what we just heard from the Arizona current Speaker of the House, Dusty Bowers. Tell us what you are hearing and how this comes across based on what you know happened in your state.
Thank you so much, Judy. It's great to be here, even under these trying circumstances. I think what we now know is that the facts of the election were completely disregarded. We know that the election was legitimate and that Biden was and continues to be the winner of the 2020 presidential
You guys can time
election,
them out
and yet there
or
was
block
this
them. I don't
very
really care.
conscientious decision made to promote this false narrative.
But guys, y'all know apologists are going to apologize. You know they're all soldiers for Jesus until it comes to tell us your legal name, show us your face, and defend God. Go ahead. No, just more chat spam. Interesting. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to just put it to you like this, blessed be he. We atheists call you out every single time, right? Guys, follow along with me with this, right? They come in here all the time, almost every day, and we call them out. Call in, tell us your real name, show us your face, tell us what you believe and why you believe it, right? Oh, your metal's weak. Oh, he showed you the way and you forgot. Oh, you're lost. Bruh, I don't believe in none of that Jesus shit. But according to your worldview, according to your view of how this all plays out, according to how you think this is going to go in the end, when you die, you going to get up to heaven and Jesus is going to be like, didn't you hear me criticize Peter for denying me 3 times? Them atheists called you out night after night after night, and they whooped your monkey ass all over the internet, and you not one time had the metal because your metal was so weak that you couldn't even show up and say, here's who I am, here's my real face, here's what I believe, here's why I believe it, and have a genuine conversation trying to defend this Jesus or Lord or whoever the fuck you believe in that you think is so wonderful. So rather than our metal being weak, I suggest you, like they said, kick rocks, go look in the mirror and figure out how the fuck you're going to face your Lord and explain to him why you denied an opportunity to fucking reveal yourself and reveal him to us over and over and over and over again, because I'm pretty sure you're going to lose far more sleep over that than we're going to lose over your nonsense. But have fun. He'll be coming round the mountain when he comes. When Jesus comes riding on that cloud looking for your ass, we gonna be in the sideline like, get him, Jesus. Get him, Jesus. Go ahead, best be he. Explain to Jesus. Explain to Jesus why you couldn't turn your camera on. Explain to Jesus why you couldn't tell us your real name. Go ahead. Tell him that bullshit. Go ahead, drop your little chat spam on Jesus. You looking a little scared? They be looking a little scared.
Narrative. As one of the Michigan legislators, Pat, pointed out, they were believing things that were untrue and promoting them. And so I think you can tell from Speaker Bauer's testimony that election officials...
Why should you dox yourself? Bro, see how dumb y'all sound? Bro, having people knowing your real name, bro, look at all these people we've seen on this broadcast. How many people have we looked at on this broadcast, y'all? How many people have we looked at on this broadcast? It's been about good 12, 15 people on this broadcast. Has one person on this broadcast be like, what, you want me to show my face and say my real name? Why would I dox myself? Why would I dox myself? Bro, people knowing who you really are and what you look like is not doxing. Look at that. Man, an atheist just told you his real name. Bro, I just showed everybody where I work, where I go to school. People know who my teaching mentor is, what department I work in. I ain't hard to find. Sounds like your metal's pretty weak there, bruh.
Take their job very personally. They are deeply passionate about their responsibility to our democratic republic. And for many, myself included, it's our life's work. And so when we see this narrative spawning these violent threats against election officials that, quite frankly, are our neighbors, our friends, our family. They go to our places of worship, and their children play on the same sports teams. When we attack them, we attack our very democracy, and that's where I am so concerned with those individuals who aren't watching today's hearing.
And we hope, of course, that many Americans are watching or will watch a replay of this as the hours and the days go on. Al Schmidt, I want to bring you into this, former Philadelphia City Commissioner. What we've been hearing is testimony from Republicans. These are people, including Speaker Bowers, who he said he was a supporter of President Trump, had hoped former President Trump would win re-election, but he was not going to go along with the scheme that the former president and the people around him were pushing. And what we're hearing in Arizona.
You say that, but I 100%, just according to your logic, dox myself in front of a theist, and I don't think y'all have any fucking morals. I don't think y'all have any fucking morals at all. I think theists are dumb enough, and I know Blessed Be he's a troll. But the funny thing is, in order to troll people, he says a bunch of shit that a lot of you Christians and theists out there really believe. So let's talk about who has no morals. Let's talk about who the fuck is waging war against democracy to control people's reproductive rights. Yeah, it's definitely those atheists. Let's talk about who's fighting all the fucking holy wars over goddamn territory. Right, must be the atheist. When was the last time you heard an atheist sacred text that was like, yeah, here's all the rules for slavery? You fuckers don't even care about basic shit like the truth. You won't even acknowledge the fact that we're evolved and not created. You don't even have the balls as a grown-ass fucking individual to admit when you're wrong. You guys are such fucking cowards that you literally will tell everybody to go fuck themselves and that they'll burn in hell because their version of the religion is wrong, yet you will accept your own religion based on even worse logic. You require 10% of the income of fucking poor people and give them nothing but hope, wishes, and bullshit and faith healing in return. Please, please, please. Unfortunately for you, most of us living in reality have very important things to take care of. One of those very important things I have to take care of is I promised to cover this fucked up ass January 6th hearing committee for my community. And given that these broadcasts take a long time, we could do that. We're going to get back to that. But trust me, I could have a much longer broadcast talking about how, in fact, it is true that is the theists who believe in an evil so evil that they think that it is good. And in fact, it is nothing but a reflection of their absolute moral depravity. You guys have no fucking character. You want to know what the truth I think is? I think you're fucking children. I think you're some of the most disgusting people on the face of the planet. Because despite racism, a pandemic, recessions, fucking plagues, death to everybody, wars, nuclear attacks, you fuckers won't admit that you're playing a fucking fantasy. You would rather watch the fucking world burn than admit that you're wrong. So you can all go fuck yourselves next time somebody tries to tell me I don't have any morals because I'm an atheist. We will have that conversation. Bring that shit up to me again, bitch, all of you, and I promise you we will have that fucking conversation.
It was taking place, as we know, in other states around the country as well.
And I think it's very important what the committee is doing here. When I testified the other day, I believe all panelists were Republicans as well, as they had in the hearing before that. I think there is a real obligation on Republicans to be straightforward about this and to be very honest about it and what has been going on in our party, and to tell the truth about the election. And I think Speaker Bowers did that very powerfully, not just the mechanics and legal machinations that were going on, but on the human side of all this as well.
No question. He was, I mean, the description of the threats that have been taking place. And as he said, even now, you know, he looks to the weekend as a time when people are going to be outside his home. And he mentioned a man with a gun threatening one of his neighbors, his wife, and his late daughter, who passed away, being deeply disturbed by all this. Tammy Patrick, I'm going to come back to you because we did hear Speaker Bowers say that he asked the Trump team repeatedly for evidence of what they were claiming they had, that votes were miscounted, that there were immigrants who had voted, that dead people had voted. But he said they never provided that evidence.
That's right. They didn't provide the evidence because it doesn't exist. They're playing a narrative that harkens back
As
to,
always,
you know, dead people are
Doesn't that
voting in
sound
large
familiar?
numbers. People who are eligible are voting in large numbers. And we know that that fraud narrative is incorrect. Fraud occurs very, very minimally in this country. But what this hearing is demonstrating for me is that the real...
Guys, I'm feeling so raw today. I feel like just keeping it 100. I feel like keeping it 100. I'm going to tell y'all the truth about why there's no election fraud in America, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all the truth about why. Let me do some numbers for y'all. When I ran for president of student government at Penn State, I was running for president of a student government, student body that's about 42,500 students, whatever. So let's call it 42,000 students, right? I got twice as many votes as the next candidate, right? So I won by a landslide. With how many votes? And I cannot tell you, we ran the most intense campaign ever to that point, right? Just the whole team, we're just way more sophisticated than anybody I'd ever seen, right? How many votes did we win with? We were in the paper every day for fucking weeks. 1,400 votes. 1,400 votes out of 42,000 students. Right? Now, the presidential numbers are a lot fucking better. But here's my point, folks. Everybody in politics knows this. Every fucking poll worker knows this because they spend all their fucking time figuring out how many people vote and how many could have voted and how many didn't vote and the blase and the Glavinoids. Here's the truth. Americans don't care enough about voting to commit this type of fraud. Like, y'all, Americans don't vote in the type of, like, y'all don't understand. Like, do you know how motivated, like, y'all, trust me. Every fucking politician wishes Americans cared enough about voting for that shit to be going on. That would mean that we had solved our biggest fucking problem, which is fucking apathy. Americans are lazy fuckers who don't want to get off their couch for shit. And most of them will tell you their vote doesn't matter for a goddamn thing. So please keep that in mind the next time you suggest this fucking nonsense to people who know what they're talking about. We don't believe you.
Fraud of the 2020 election, the real attempt to steal the election was this fake elector scheme, which is deeply troubling because thankfully we had many elected officials and election officials in those positions of responsibility and power that took their oath seriously, that took the Constitution and their state laws to heart and didn't cave to the pressure that was being put on them by the former president. However, many people have left their positions because of these threats, because of the stress of the job. And what we know is that there are partisan...
No, I was right, guys. Most Americans don't get off their couch to shit, all right? They just take a doo-doo pie right there, all right?
that are looking to fill those positions. So we want to make sure that voters remember as they go to the polls this election, this midterm is not an election to sit out. So much is at stake. You want to make sure that you're voting for individuals who actually
Look, she's begging people to vote. Please care about the election. Please vote. Please, 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 we're begging you, vote. And they're like, y'all know there was the big secret going on, and they were stealing the election and the election workers. Did you see the election workers? And there was a big, like, bro. Oh my God, I can't tell y'all how wrong y'all are. How do I explain this motivation? It's kind of like suggesting that the Grand Canyon was built by ducks. Right. Y'all see how one group just would never do the other thing because there's just no fucking way. Yeah, that's how I feel about this. Y'all are like, Jay, that didn't even make any sense. Exactly. That's why it was brilliant. But the fact that it made absolutely no fucking sense is why it's a spot-on analogy for this.
Believe in our democracy and are going to serve their voters well rather than being a partisan actor in these kind of.
Yeah, because mail-in voting is just effort, is less effort. Exactly. Exactly. Also, here's something y'all forget. Take all that fucking racist ass hatred you have of Obama. Yes, you're a racist. All right. Now, I don't even like Obama. If you don't like him for political reasons, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, take all that hatred you got for George W. Bush. That's a lot of y'all. Now, I done triggered both sides. Y'all lefties hate the George W. Bush. Y'all righties hate the motherfucking Obama. Put all of that hatred together in a big ass fucking bubble of motherfucking go fuck yourself because we fucking hate you all. And what do you get? A ball not even comparable. You are talking about hatred ball the size of a basketball compared to a hatred ball the size of fucking Venus, right? When I'm talking about what? How much Americans hate Donald Trump. So when you take my theory, we all seriously hated Donald fucking Trump. And No Name's theory, it is way easier to vote if you do not have to leave your motherfucking home. And you put them two shits together. What the fuck do you get? More votes for Joe Biden. It's really not that hard. I know you was like, oh my God, he's asking me one of them grad school questions again. Jay, you know we didn't take the GRE. No, that's real simple. Just more votes for Joe Biden. That's all you had to come. That's the only conclusion you had to draw.
It is something that is happening right now as we approach.
I told you, I'm not a trick questions guy for the most part.
This year and the primaries that are taking place. Very quickly now to our correspondent, Lisa Desjardins at the Capitol. And our White House correspondent, Laura Barone-Lopez. They've been
the White House was shot at when Obama was in office.
Lisa, again, this committee seems to be moving methodically through, using video, talking to witnesses, all of whom certainly today are Republicans.
I don't even like Obama, but
they seem to be following.
Definitely no reason to shoot at the guy.
Very much following closely their plan to try to harden up the evidence of what the former president did.
That's right, Judy. And you know, today's testimony
was
the...
I need to be clear, guys. I don't like President Barack Obama. I liked community organizer Barack Obama. He was about some shit. I kind of wish he kind of just stayed in that career. Maybe, I don't know. I had to think about it. But he was kind of the dude, you know? And I like Obama now. Like going around on tour, telling jokes. Stand-up Obama, I fucks with stand-up Obama. Open shirt, no jacket, just kind of out on the road, cracking jokes. That Obama I smoked some weed with. The President Obama that went on Hot 97 and told all the black people on America's #1 hip-hop station that he wasn't going to legalize weed and laughed about it. Now, that Obama was sitting on some bullshit. That Obama was 100% sitting on some bullshit, which is why I'm proud to say I never voted for his ass. What? Oh, Jay, how could you not vote for him? He was the first black president. And what did he do? Not a goddamn thing for my black ass. So, proud to say I never voted for him, and he was president anyway. See, people miss the beauty of it. See, people think I'm being right. No. That's the beauty of it. Shut the fuck up, racist. The beauty of it is I could decide, does this black person represent my politics and therefore is going to do what I want if I vote for him? I was like, no, well, I don't really care if he's black. I'm not going to vote for him. But what happened was America was like, well, Jay, we don't have the same issues that you do. We have different priorities. We think he's way better than the other people, so you're going to be overruled and we're going to vote for him not once but twice. And then I was like, and I'm proud to be an American. Go ahead, Obama, do your thing. I didn't vote for you, but I wish you the best. That's why I'm happy what I got out of him, all the positive things he did. I'm like, man, Obama did a lot of great things. I'm really proud of him. That's really awesome. He was such an honorable first black president. And then when I'm like, but he disappointed me about this and that, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, That's why I didn't vote for his ass. It's all love. Now, if only the Republicans could do that, we wouldn't be fucking sitting here. I could be playing some games with my club. I could be playing some adult games on fucking the OnlyFans page. I could be fucking doing some word wrestling entertainment shit. I could be making some Counter-Apologetics videos. I could be sticking my nuts in William Lane Craig's wife's mouth. Teabagging that bitch like the motherfucking teabag party. More teabag than Sarah Palin on that bitch, but nah, we gotta cover this fucked up ass insurrection.
Kind of testimony that I anticipated would be more for those of us who kind of follow the minutia of the elections process. Maybe for some of us more political nerds, but I found it to be one of the more gripping hours that we've had of testimonies. Rusty Bowers, this is a man who is very conservative. If you look at his record, you look at what he's pushed for in the Arizona State House on issues like abortion or guns, there is no arguing. This man is conservative. He is a very kind of...
Now, Spencer, go to your room and think about what you've done.
We associate with that party mostly, but here he was saying that I am standing up for the elections process, and you heard just that really impassioned plea, and so importantly, and Adam Schiff, the Democrat from California, made sure to ask him to talk about his love, Bowers' love of Ronald Reagan. And this goes to what we've been talking about before, Judy. The committee here is really trying to say this isn't about partisans. This isn't even about people who are anti-Trump, as the Trump supporters may see this committee, that this is about something bigger, and they are trying to reach out to people who may not share their views with things like faith, examples of people of faith. And here's an example of someone regarding, really the Republican icon, Ronald Reagan, invoking his name.
Rusty Bowers sounds dirty, yeah, it does.
And against
former
President
Trump.
Trump.
You should let us know what a Rusty Bauer is.
Spoken now on a number of occasions with witnesses.
Also, Caterpillar and Stupid Whore Energy. Let me know if you guys want to get together and have a Rusty Bowers.
To speak about their faith as they speak about their oath, as we heard speaking.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, you fucking Nancy Pansy. You can't be fucking offended at me. You don't even know what the fuck it means.
Bowers doing that he was not going to violate his oath to the people, to the Constitution.
I gave her a Rusty Bowers, exactly.
Who elected him, and what his job is as the leader of the State House of Representatives. Also joining us, Laura Barone Lopez, who is our White House correspondent. Laura, we've talked about this. The White House, President Biden is not directly involved, of course, in these hearings, but there's no question the White House watching this very closely.
They are watching this closely, and a lot of that ends up being White House aides briefing the president on what is happening in these hearings.
I could do one more question.
And so that's something that that Biden is definitely getting read in on. He occasionally, they said, if his schedule isn't that busy,
we're pro-consent around here.
Hearings, potentially catching them live. But again, the president doesn't change his schedule. And again, as you noted, Judy, we've talked about this a lot because of the fact that Biden is trying to not show that he is influencing any of the proceedings, whether it's the committee or, as we heard today, Congresswoman Cheney saying that she thinks that this is something that the Justice Department needs to be focusing on, that what the committee is investigating, specifically the pressure campaign on Pence to try to outright reject electors and go against his constitutional duty, as well as the pressure campaign on state elected officials, which we're hearing about today. Cheney, in her opening statement, said, quote, that she thinks that it deserves attention from the Justice Department. And so because of that, the president is...
Guys, I'm going to show you guys something I learned in all those years of studying human sexuality at Penn State. Whenever you need to grease the wheels of love and you really want to get a Rusty Bowers going with the young lady, you just make it rain on her. You just make it rain on her. You just make it rain on her. You be like, yeah, now consider that. Huh? Drop a few mil on her, you know? You know? Hey, don't ever say I didn't give you advice that works now. Now, some of y'all think that, hey, don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till they do a lot of stuff when you make it rain like that.
Trying to keep an arm's length approach to make sure that the Justice Department has its independence in pursuing that.
Keep its independence. And I have to say, I was struck that Adam Schiff began his prepared statement just a little over an hour ago by stating once again that he said it in November of 2020, Donald Trump ran for re-election and lost. The fact that that still has to be stated is remarkable in and of itself. Here we are 19 months later, and the questions are out there. They are real. Millions of Americans, according to the public opinion polls, are still saying that they believe there was something wrong with this election, that it was fraudulent, that the laws were wrong, that in some one way or another that Joe Biden is not the legitimate president. That's why. And not only that we're looking at midterm elections this year that are a reflection of what happened in 2020.
That's right, Judy. Something that Schiff said also really struck me when he said that if the majority of the electorate, or even a significant portion of the electorate, is made to believe that the elections are
they're
not
almost done. I want to give them their few minutes. I said I'd give them their time. They're all doing a great job.
And he said it pushes the
let's pay attention to how they transition.
Which is what we saw.
They've got
like
you said, they've done it. They've got a really tough job. For you guys that don't know, these broadcasts are long. Not everybody watches the whole thing. What they've got to do is when they come into the break, they've got to summarize the day's action. They've got to put it in context of the previous day's action. They've got to quickly go to the guests that they have, because those guests are a lot of value added to the analysis of the broadcast. But they've only got a few minutes, and all this stuff has to be kind of restructured on the fly based on the time window, right? Because the chairman said 5 minutes. It's a little bit long. They always go a little bit long. But it would have been very different if he'd have said 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It'd have been a whole different sort of in-between show that we get here. And now you're gonna see this start to happen, where they're gonna start to say, where people that are watching this thing are going, okay, they're starting to gather. It looks like they're coming back. Then they'll take us back into the room. They're still gonna have to keep the conversation going, yet transition people into what to expect for the second part of this broadcast. And again, like, they do all this while making it look like they're just having this natural conversation with each other. It reminds me very much of Rebecca from Bread of Life, who just handles all of the sort of studio madness and multitasking and a zillion things going on, and just stays really focused and handles it all so wonderful. And I'm learning more. My dad's a pro. My dad is a phenomenal broadcaster. He seems to really enjoy me being myself on camera. I guess I'll put it that way. But I'm definitely learning to appreciate the sort of technical aspect of all this. And again, I really admire the fuck out of these people. This is a big time broadcast that they're doing. And they do this stuff really well.
On January 6th, and it's what we've been hearing.
And she just looks fucking fabulous.
From these witnesses over the
it's
last
like the color palette of her outfit matches her skin in the way that complements her fucking hair, and just puts it all together. And it's fashion forward, but it's conservative. But it's just, oh gosh, she's killing this shit.
It is often the case that that the breaks last a little bit longer than is the plan. So we roll with whatever their plan is. I wanted, let's see, we've had
this woman looks fantastic every broadcast.
Tammy Patrick, who is a former Maricopa County, Arizona election official, and also Al Schmidt, former Philadelphia city commissioner. Al Schmidt, are you with us still?
I am.
Okay.
Classy and tasteful, seriously.
Present its case,
but with some personality, and just enough personality to stand out.
Argument that what the Trump campaign was doing was illegal.
Just
they had one campaign official after another saying they refused to take part in it.
I wouldn't say no.
And we heard one young man there at the end say, if I had known that what they were doing was so clearly illegal,
don't threaten me with a good time.
Been part of it
with somebody who knows what they're doing.
I mean, it's very clear they've even deceived.
And she's gonna have them pro broadcaster tips. She's gonna be like, "Hey Jay, after we make love, what do you say we smoke some weed? I'll watch some of your streams, give you some broadcaster tips." What?